Buried under ash, sealed behind stone, or lost in endless sand, some questions were never meant to be answered. Ancient symbols with no translation ruins aligned with stars we no longer name, and tools too advanced for their time. Were these mistakes of history or messages left for those who came later? In this video, we follow the fragments scattered across temples, deserts, and ocean floors, and try to hear what the past is still trying to say. Because sometimes, silence is louder than truth. Amid the desolate ice-covered landscapes of Norway, where snow-capped mountains loom and frigid winds howl, year-round exists a modern legend that continues to puzzle scientists and adventurers alike: the Ice Needle of Norway, a towering vertical ice spike that defies explanation. No geological records, no physical theories, and no second photograph since that fateful moment in the spring of 1997. But what do you think was the Ice Needle? A rare natural coincidence, or something far beyond science? Drop your theory in the comments below. We'd love to hear your take. It all began with a group of 3 amateur climbers trekking across the remote Troms og Finnmark region in northern Norway. While searching for a spot to set up camp in the endless white snow, they stumbled upon a vertical ice column nearly 20 meters tall, rising straight out of the ground with a needle-sharp tip. The structure stood upright, narrow, and reflected light in an unusual way, prompting them to capture it instantly with a film camera. What made this ice needle truly shocking wasn't just its surreal appearance, but the fact that it was entirely isolated from any nearby glacier or ice mass. There were no signs of permafrost, heaving no frozen water layers, and most importantly, no known weather conditions at the time could produce such a perfectly symmetrical ice formation. Meteorologists later stated, "There is no current natural scenario in Troms og Finnmark that could produce such a structure. It contradicts every physical law of water and temperature." As soon as the photo was published in 1998, a small team of climate and geology researchers organized a follow-up expedition using the handwritten coordinates provided by the climbers. However, by the time they arrived, the entire landscape had been reshaped by a massive snow avalanche at the end of 1997, burying the area under meters of snow. Since then, no one has ever seen the Ice Needle again. All efforts, satellite imagery, LiDAR scans, and even drone explorations over the past 20-plus years have yielded nothing. The Ice Needle became a one-time phenomenon and has never reappeared. Its uniqueness only fueled the legend, making this ice spire one of the most elusive and haunting natural occurrences of the century. In addition, the climbers managed to chip off a few fragments from the base of the needle and brought them back. Scientific analysis of these fragments revealed a crystalline structure completely unlike regular natural ice, including higher crystal density, unusual light refraction properties, evidence suggesting exposure to extremely high pressure. Many experts believe the ice may have formed under conditions that Earth today cannot replicate. Some theories suggest it may have been the frozen remnant of an ancient artificial structure preserved by time. Others lean toward an ultra-rare natural event, a sort of ice pillar shaped by extreme geological coincidence. But some voices go further, saying this may be an object not from Earth, possibly the result of unknown materials or energies we have yet to comprehend. No matter which theory you believe, one thing is undeniable: the Ice Needle of Norway has never been seen again since 1997. No second photograph, no confirmed sightings, and it's this singular, mysterious, and vanishing nature that has turned it into one of the most baffling and beautiful icy phenomena of the 20th century. Perhaps it was just a fleeting trick of nature, or perhaps it was a temporary window into something far beyond our current understanding of the world. The silent drums of Borneo are not just a rare archaeological discovery, they are one of the most enigmatic and unexplained artifacts in Southeast Asia. Found deep within the jungles of Borneo, the third largest island in the world, these drums resemble no known ancient musical instruments. Though their outer shape may appear similar to traditional bronze or ceremonial drums when struck, they emit no sound, no echo, no resonance, no ringing, only a dull, strange thump, as if the sound is swallowed the moment it is made. But what do you think if these drums were never meant to produce sound? What purpose do you believe they truly served? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear your theories. This is the first thing that astonishes researchers, a musical instrument that produces no sound. Upon analysis, the drum bodies were found to lack the internal hollow needed for acoustic resonance. Some samples even had an inner layer of material with an unusually high capacity to absorb sound waves, virtually consuming all vibrations that enter. Rather than resonate like typical ceremonial instruments, these drums are utterly silent, as if they were built not to create sound, but to preserve silence, a silence with deliberate intent. But the true mystery does not lie in the silence, it lies in the bizarre engraved patterns etched across the drum surfaces. Unlike any motifs found in Southeast Asian cultures, these drums are covered in spiraling lines, large open eyes, outstretched hands, and abstract geometric shapes that defy easy explanation. There's no clear repetition, no known written symbols, and each drum features its own unique pattern, as if encoded in a completely forgotten language. Some scholars believe these markings may be remnants of an ancient system of knowledge meant to convey silent messages. A more radical theory proposes that these are not musical instruments at all, but ceremonial vibration devices designed to transmit invisible frequencies to an unseen realm that modern science cannot yet detect. The wide open eyes and extended arms may represent a bridge between the physical and the spiritual world, a summoning ritual, or perhaps a message meant to travel through unseen space. The indigenous Dayak people, longtime inhabitants of Borneo, hold a strong spiritual belief in these drums. They claim the drums belong to the spirits of the forest and must never be struck without proper rituals and offerings to the ancestors. Folk tales warn of people who once struck the drums without permission, only to suffer madness or mysterious misfortunes. In Dayak cosmology, the engraved symbols on the drums are seen as the language of the ancestors, not to be read, interpreted, or touched without spiritual preparation. To this day, no two drums are completely alike. Each one is a distinct entity with its own carvings, depth, structure, and condition. But all share one trait: utter silence. And all have been found hidden, deep in the jungle, some buried under rich mineral layers, as if someone intentionally sealed them away from the light of the modern world. Many experts believe these drums could be the last remnants of an entirely lost culture, perhaps a forgotten prehistoric civilization that never made it into our historical record. A civilization that used symbols instead of written language and silence instead of sound. The engraved symbols may be the final trace of a world we can no longer reconstruct. The silent drums of Borneo are more than just mute instruments. They challenge everything we think we know about archaeology, ancient cultures, and spiritual practice. And what makes them truly remarkable are the mysterious silent engravings, markings that belong to no known system, yet may represent the last whisper of a world humanity has long forgotten. In the damp and remote regions of New Zealand, a bizarre and unexplained phenomenon continues to challenge archaeologists and modern scientists. These are the rain glyphs, mysterious symbols that only appear when it rains and almost completely vanish once the surface dries. They aren't carved deeply into rock like typical engravings, but instead seem to seep outward from within the stone under the influence of moisture, like a form of ancient, invisible ink that evokes the idea of technology far ahead of its time. What do you think could be causing these rain glyphs to appear only after rain? Are they a natural reaction in the rocks, or signs of something more mysterious? Share your thoughts in the comments. We'd love to hear your theory. What makes these glyphs truly remarkable isn't just how they appear, but the shapes themselves. The rain glyphs bear no resemblance to any known writing system, religious symbol, or traditional motif ever recorded throughout the history of New Zealand or the wider Polynesian region. The Maori, New Zealand's indigenous people, with their own symbolic traditions, have no myths or legends referencing such markings. Linguists have attempted to compare the rain glyphs with Egyptian hieroglyphs, Olmec carvings, Rongo scripts from Easter Island, and even the Indus Valley signs, but none of these systems match in structure, syntax, or organizational logic. Some glyphs take the form of double spirals resembling DNA structures, while others exhibit perfect symmetry along horizontal or vertical axes. Certain clusters repeat in patterns that seem to convey a sentence or an idea, but no one can decipher the content. They do not follow any known rules of human language, nor do they resemble any established image-based code. As such, they exist at the border between script symbol and natural phenomenon, a space where modern science struggles to assign meaning. Some scholars have proposed bold theories. If the rain glyphs do not belong to any known civilization, then perhaps they were created by a completely undiscovered culture, or possibly even by an intelligence not of this world. It may sound speculative, but the fact remains there is no satisfying scientific explanation for the origin, meaning, or purpose of these symbols. They appear only when rain falls under the right conditions on the right surfaces at the right time. And when the surface dries, everything fades back into silence. The rain glyphs are scattered across a few select regions with distinct geology, where basalt or limestone formations show unusual layering, sometimes coated with thin moss or microscopic metallic minerals. Rainwater acts as a kind of activator, not revealing a hidden carving, but instead awakening something long dormant. One researcher poetically noted, "We may not be able to read the rain glyphs, but the rain can." In rare cases, the glyphs have been observed to change shape over the course of decades, as if undergoing a slow transformation or part of some unknown natural cycle. Some sets of glyphs recorded in the early 2000s have since completely disappeared, while new symbols have emerged nearby. Is someone or something still leaving messages? Or are we witnessing a form of natural intelligent interaction that modern scientific language is simply not equipped to explain, whatever the answer may be? The rain glyphs remain one of New Zealand's most vivid, unsolved mysteries, not just etched into stone, but etched into the minds of those trying to understand what perhaps only the rain truly knows. Deep within the icy caves of the Altai Mountains, where Russia, Kazakhstan, Mongolia, and China converge, archaeologists have uncovered a series of mysterious prehistoric paintings. Among them, one image stands out: the so-called twin suns. These paintings are not merely artistic relics from our ancestors. They present a profound enigma that challenges archaeologists, archaeoastronomers, and even modern astrophysicists. But what do you think Could these twin suns be the memory of a real cosmic event, or are they symbolic creations from an ancient belief system? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Was it science myth or something else entirely? The image is simple, yet deeply haunting. Two large glowing circles, each radiating rays of light in all directions, exactly how early humans often depicted the sun. The two are placed side by side on the horizon, equal in size, colored in reddish-orange hues, and surrounded by intense, symmetrical beams of light. It immediately gives the impression of two suns rising together. This is no abstract symbol or decorative motif. The layout, the rendering of the rays, and their positioning suggests the artist was trying to faithfully depict something they had truly witnessed. This painting is estimated to be between 12,000 and 14,000 years old, dating back to the post-Ice Age period when humans still lived as hunter-gatherers. It is rare enough for prehistoric cultures to depict celestial observations, but even more surprising is what they chose to depict. This is the most controversial aspect to this day. Scientists have found no known natural phenomenon that adequately explains the image of two suns appearing simultaneously with nearly identical size, brightness, color, and radiating patterns. Popular theories such as atmospheric light refraction, a simultaneous appearance of the sun and moon, or even optical illusions have been deemed unconvincing. Phenomena like atmospheric refraction or sundog's light, halos caused by ice crystals, always exhibit asymmetry, distortion, or fading in brightness and color. Yet the painting shows two identical objects. The sun and moon differ clearly in brightness, size, and the way they reflect light. None of these explanations fully align with what's depicted in the Altai cave art. Could it be that our prehistoric ancestors witnessed something that we no longer do, or perhaps cannot? Some bold hypotheses have been proposed during that era. Might Earth have passed through a region of space where a massive, luminous object, perhaps a wandering planet, a brown dwarf star, or a giant reflective body appeared as a second sun? Or could this be a collective memory of an extremely rare cosmic event preserved in the only language early humans had: rock paintings? What makes this more intriguing is that similar paintings have been discovered in at least 4 other caves across the Altai region, suggesting this wasn't a singular artistic creation. It appears that early human communities in the area shared a common experience or belief in the presence of two large luminous bodies in the sky. Some scholars even propose that this could represent a primitive form of cosmological mythology, a kind of cosmic memory encoded in imagery, much like how the ancient Egyptians depicted the rebirth of the sun god Ra during his nightly journey through the underworld. Though we still lack a definitive explanation, the twin suns paintings of the Altai caves continue to captivate scholars and the public alike, not just because of their mysterious beauty, but because they challenge our entire framework of what's scientifically possible in the realm of natural observation. If no known physical event can account for this artwork, then either our science is incomplete or prehistoric humans once knew or saw something that lies far beyond modern imagination. Hidden deep within the sandstone plateau of Tassili Naja in southeastern Algeria lies one of the world's most mysterious and controversial archaeological treasures, a series of massive charcoal black rock paintings dating back more than 8,000 years. These enigmatic artworks are known by a name that is both simple and evocative: the charcoal giants of Algeria. But here's the question: who or what do you think these charcoal giants represent? Ancient gods, lost civilizations, or something else entirely? Drop your theory in the comments below. We're curious to hear it. The first thing that astonishes researchers is the immense size of the figures. Many of them reach up to 6 meters tall, far beyond the proportions of an average adult human. Not only are they large, but their bizarre anatomy also stands out: rounded heads with no distinct mouths or noses, large almond-shaped eyes, and unusually long arms that curve and float as if defying gravity. Some images depict these figures hovering in mid-air, lined up in formation, or interacting with smaller beings. The painting techniques go far beyond what one would expect from a hunter-gatherer society of that era, including three-dimensional spatial perspective, a sense of movement, and a sophisticated choice of natural pigments that have lasted for millennia. Archaeologists have found no parallels between these paintings and the styles of known prehistoric cultures in Africa. There are no scenes of hunting, no wild animals, no tools or weapons, all common themes in rock art from the hunting era. Instead, we see silent, mysterious entities, either standing still or floating, as if performing some incomprehensible ritual. This is the most mysterious and debated aspect of the entire phenomenon. Who created these gigantic alien-like figures? Why depict non-human forms? And why are they found in the middle of a desert far removed from any signs of settlement? Some traditional theories suggest they may represent religious symbols or ancient ceremonial practices, but the more scholars examine them, the more they find inexplicable differences in style and content so extreme that it's difficult to attribute them to any known human community. One famous painting, often referred to as the Great Martian God, shows a towering figure with a rounded helmet-like head and a posture reminiscent of a modern astronaut. This image has sparked numerous fringe hypotheses, suggesting these could be traces of prehistoric contact with extraterrestrial beings. Could it be that ancient humans encountered something beyond their understanding and recorded it the only way they could, through monumental art? Other scholars propose a more cautious theory that the paintings are remnants of a lost civilization that once thrived in the Sahara when the region was lush and green. However, no bones tools or evidence of permanent dwellings have ever been found near the site, making this theory equally fragile. There is no solid evidence for any single explanation. Yet the sheer lack of answers makes the charcoal giants one of the great unresolved mysteries in the entire history of prehistoric humanity. So what truly happened in Tassili N'Ajjer thousands of years ago? Are these charcoal black giants the product of imagination, cultural memory, or something that lies beyond the current limits of science? While no definitive answer has emerged, one thing remains unchanged. The strange paintings are still there, enduring like an ancient message from a place no one expected, patiently waiting for the modern world to decipher them. And the more we gaze into the blank stares of the charcoal giants, the more it feels as if they're staring back, silently asking, "Are you sure you know your own history?" Hidden deep within the remote mountains of southern Chile lies a mysterious natural formation so strange that even scientists and local communities have questioned its true origin. This place is known as the Black Echo Dome. First discovered in the 1980s by a geological expedition, the site quickly became a subject of ongoing debate and research. What draws attention isn't just its bizarre shape, its unique acoustic effects, or the absence of living organisms, but a deeper geological anomaly that remains unexplained to this day. What do you think the Black Echo Dome really is? A rare natural formation, or something far more mysterious? Drop your theories in the comments below. We'd love to hear your thoughts. The Black Echo Dome has the shape of a nearly perfect half-sphere, measuring over 20 meters in diameter and about 9 meters in height at its center. Its most striking feature is that the entire surface is made of smooth black basalt, with a subtle, mirror-like reflectivity. From a distance, the dome stands out against the rugged natural terrain, looking like a man-made object abandoned by a forgotten civilization. However, detailed surveys reveal no evidence of carving, cutting, or mechanical intervention. Everything suggests it was formed entirely by natural processes, yet it's almost too perfect to believe. From an acoustic standpoint, the site exhibits a phenomenon described as a one-way echo. If you stand at one precise spot inside the dome and make a sound, you'll hear a clear echo, bouncing back as if from an invisible wall of sound. But if you move just a few steps away from that position, the echo vanishes entirely. No other known natural location on Earth displays this kind of focused acoustic behavior. Numerous acoustic physicists have studied the dome, yet none have been able to explain why the echo only occurs at a single fixed point within a domed space. Inside the dome, there are no signs of life whatsoever. No insects, no moss, no birds, no small animals. Air and soil samples taken from the site show an extremely low presence of microorganisms, a phenomenon rarely found outside of extreme environments. Some biologists have even labeled the site a biological void, a place where, for reasons still unknown, life simply does not take hold. And then there's the most baffling aspect of all: the geological makeup of the Black Echo Dome matches none of the surrounding rock formations. When geology teams compared its mineral composition, stratigraphic age, and fault orientation with the nearby mountains and bedrock, the results were astonishing. The material forming the dome does not originate from this region. In fact, basalt samples taken from the site are 8,000 to 10,000 years younger than any other rock layers in the area. The stone does not match local magnetic profiles, doesn't lie on any known fault lines, and shows no evidence of having been pushed up by volcanic activity. It's as if the structure was placed here from somewhere else. But by whom and how? Some theories bordering on metaphysics suggest this site may be a contact point, a location where energies converge, altering or transporting matter in unexplained ways. Others lean toward the idea that it's a remnant of a rare geological phenomenon, such as an isolated magma core that solidified in an unusual way. Whatever the explanation, the fact that it shares no geological connection with its surroundings has left scientists perplexed for over 4 decades. The Black Echo Dome is not just an unusual natural feature, it is a challenge to our current understanding of geology, acoustics, biology, and possibly even quantum physics. Until someone can create a model that explains all of its anomalies, the dome will remain a crack in scientific understanding, forcing us to question even the things we thought we knew for certain about our planet. In the vast and desolate deserts of Namibia, where winds carry dust and time seems to stand still, a strange phenomenon has puzzled scientists, photographers, and mystery enthusiasts around the world. The pyramid shadows of Namibia. Pyramid-shaped shadows appearing on the ground, with no actual pyramids anywhere in sight. What do you think these mysterious pyramid-shaped shadows could be? Are they tricks of light, ancient constructions now lost, or something science hasn't discovered yet? Share your thoughts in the comments below. We want to hear your theory. From satellite images, people have observed a series of sharp triangular shadows that closely resemble those cast by ancient pyramids. These shadows are not optical illusions or camera errors, they appear clearly in multiple images from various sources. Yet when researchers visited the site in person, they found that the ground was completely flat, with no hills, mounds, or raised structures capable of casting such shadows. Not a single boulder, not even a pile of dirt, just sand and hard, barren ground. Even more strangely, these pyramid-shaped shadows only appear at very specific times of the year when the sun shines at an extremely narrow angle. At first glance, this suggests some form of ancient design where humans, or perhaps a lost civilization, might have deliberately used solar alignments to create a precise visual effect. The fact that the shadows appear consistently and match equinoxes or unique sunrise-sunset events has led many to ask, could this be a buried astronomical monument? What truly stumps scientists, and is perhaps the most remarkable aspect, is that this phenomenon cannot be recreated using modern technology. Researchers have tried using high-resolution elevation maps, LiDAR scans of the terrain, and 3D solar simulation software, yet none of these efforts have been able to produce the same sharp pyramid shadows seen in the satellite images. Sun angle elevation terrain profile. Everything was fed into the simulation systems, but the results only produced faint, irregular light and dark patches. No clean geometric triangle, no sharp edges, nothing close to the real phenomenon. This leads to a deeply unexplainable possibility. Either there is a physical factor present in the area that we've completely missed, or there once were structures now mysteriously erased from the landscape. Some speculate it could even be the result of a highly advanced ancient technology, one that we, despite all our drones, computers, and modeling software, are still unable to replicate. What's even more baffling is that the area shows no signs of modern human presence. No tracks, no tire marks, no construction equipment, no infrastructure. If someone intentionally created these shadows, they did so without leaving a single trace, a nearly impossible feat by today's construction standards. Some local Namibian tribes even speak of mysterious stories about mountains of shadow places where the spirits of ancestors pass during seasonal transitions. Could it be that what science cannot yet explain was already felt and preserved through ancient spiritual beliefs? From the perspective of modern science, every attempt to explain the shadows leads to a dead end. When 3D mapping fails to recreate what the human eye sees, when physics simulations don't match reality, and when flat land somehow casts geometric shadows, we are forced to ask questions that step beyond logic. Could Earth still be holding on to visual memories from a lost era? Or is this a non-existent imprint, a trick of nature that defies human understanding? To this day, the pyramid shadows of Namibia remain one of the world's most unsolved mysteries, not only challenging our science, but also our very perception of light form and reality. The vertical script of Madagascar, also known as the mysterious vertical writing system of Madagascar, is one of the most debated linguistic and archaeological enigmas in Africa. Found sporadically on stone slabs, wooden tablets, and ancient ritual artifacts in the highland regions of central Madagascar. This script has left researchers puzzled due to its lack of clear similarities with any known writing systems. What do you think this mysterious vertical script could be? Was it part of a lost civilization or something else entirely? Drop your theory in the comments below. We're reading all of them. The first striking feature of this script is its vertical orientation. While most writing systems in Africa and the Indian Ocean region are horizontal, written either left to right or right to left, this one is engraved from top to bottom, with characters aligned in neat, uninterrupted vertical columns. This immediately evokes comparisons to East Asian scripts like classical Chinese or ancient Japanese. However, no evidence has been found of any direct cultural exchange between Asian groups and the communities that use this script. What truly elevates this script to the level of deep mystery is that it doesn't match any verified writing system. It is neither Arabic Latin nor related to traditional Malagasy, the dominant local language. The characters appear entirely unique in design, not borrowed from any familiar global symbol set. Scholars remain unsure whether the script is phonetic, pictographic, or ideographic in nature. There is no deciphered alphabet, no bilingual inscription for reference, and no traceable grammatical structure to work from. Some of these inscriptions have been discovered in ancient burial chambers, final resting places of unidentified but evidently powerful individuals, or etched onto stones that seem to have held ritual significance. Certain passages feature repeated characters, hinting at possible grammatical rules or ceremonial formulas. However, all current interpretations remain speculative, as no scientifically confirmed framework exists. Still, the greatest and most captivating mystery lies in the origin of the script. Who created it, and why did it appear in Madagascar, a geographically isolated island for much of human history? There are no historical records or local legends that mention a civilization using this kind of writing. This absence has led some researchers to theorize that the script could be the remnant of a completely forgotten prehistoric culture, one that may have existed before the Austronesian people's ancestors of most modern-day Malagasy settled on the island around the 5th century AD. A few scholars even go as far as to suggest that the script is the legacy of an entirely independent civilization, one that may have developed writing on its own, without influence from any other known cultural tradition. If proven true, this theory would compel us to reconsider the entire timeline of human civilization in the Western Indian Ocean, and raise profound questions about lost societies that left behind no other trace except these silent vertical glyphs waiting to be decoded. To this day, all efforts at decipherment have failed. The available samples are too few, with no parallel texts and unclear context. Each vertical line seems like a message from the past, but we still lack the key to unlock it. And thus, the vertical script of Madagascar remains a puzzle that continues to challenge human intellect, reminding us that history may still hold many unwritten chapters. In a remote area of Assam, India, there exists a phenomenon that has left both archaeologists and modern scientists speechless: a solid stone idol that floats effortlessly on water. It's not made of wood, contains no hidden mechanisms or internal hollows. It is a dense, solid block of stone, weighing several dozen kilograms, yet it floats as if defying the laws of physics. But what do you think? Is this just an overlooked scientific explanation waiting to be discovered? Or is it something that challenges what we think we know about reality? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear your theory. Locals call it the floating idol, a sacred symbol closely tied to the river and ancient spiritual rituals. According to local stories passed down through generations, the idol was discovered hundreds of years ago by monks as it naturally floated in a holy spring. Since then, it has been worshipped as a manifestation of a river deity guarding the sacred waters. The first mystery lies in the material itself. Archaeologists confirm that the statue is carved from natural rock, most likely a form of local basalt or granite, which has a much higher density than water. Under any normal physical conditions, it should sink. Yet when placed in the sacred water where it was originally found, not only does it not sink, but it floats gently on the surface, drifting as though something unseen is supporting it, despite the lack of any mechanical aid or magnetic field detected. Experts have conducted dozens of tests measuring density using ultrasound to detect air pockets, even attempting to recreate the idol with identical dimensions using rock from the same region. Every replica sank straight to the bottom. Even with lower density rock or added hollow chambers inside, none of the replicas managed to reproduce the original idol's buoyancy. However, the most baffling and unexplainable aspect, and the reason this phenomenon remains impossible to reproduce, lies in its strict location dependency. The idol only floats in one specific area. When removed from its original sacred water, even just a few hundred meters away, and placed into well-water river water elsewhere, or even ultra-purified lab water, the floating effect disappears entirely. The idol sinks instantly, just like any ordinary stone. Researchers have labeled this a case of absolute spatial localization, meaning that only within a narrow, undefined set of conditions can the statue exhibit its unique floating behavior. This has led many to believe that the idol is more than just an ancient artifact. It is a living object bound to the spirit of the land itself. Local traditions claim that the water where the statue floats is alive, infused with divine energy that can recognize the genuine idol and reject any artificial replica. Some modern scientific theories suggest that subtle magnetic shifts, trace mineral concentrations, or unusual ionic structures in the water could be responsible for the floating effect. But so far, no theory has produced conclusive proof or been able to replicate the phenomenon in a controlled environment. Deep in the rugged landscapes of southern Siberia, particularly around the Altai Mountains and the northern fringes of the Gobi Desert, lie a series of stone structures that have defied explanation for decades. Known by researchers and locals alike as the stone pendulums, these enigmatic formations have captured the imagination of archaeologists, geologists, and mystery enthusiasts around the world. At first glance, they resemble nothing more than massive standing stones. But a closer inspection reveals something far more perplexing. What do you think caused these massive stones to be placed in such a strange way? Was it a natural formation or the work of ancient hands with a purpose we've yet to understand? Share your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear your theory. These pendulum-like structures consist of large monolithic stones, often ranging between 2 to 4 meters in height and weighing several hundred kilograms. Their elongated shapes, often tapering at one end or slightly curved, evoke the image of ancient tools or instruments. But it's not their size or shape that has raised the most questions. It's the way they're positioned, and more specifically, how they seem to hover, sway, or remain balanced in ways that defy simple mechanical logic. Many of these stones appear to be delicately suspended within narrow rock crevices or anchored at precise pivot points in cliff faces, yet they show no signs of conventional support. There are no ropes, no metal fasteners, no drilled sockets. In some cases, they seem to rest on sharp-edged stone ridges with such perfect balance that even a gentle breeze can cause a subtle sway. This has led to their name, the stone pendulums, monoliths that behave impossibly like hanging weights. The core mystery lies in this unexplained suspension mechanism. How did ancient people, if indeed these were man-made, lift and position multi-ton stones into such precarious yet stable configurations? Some researchers suggest that natural geological processes might account for the positioning. However, this theory fails to explain the recurring precision, the symmetry of placement, and the pendulum-like motion observed in several of the structures. Complicating matters is the absence of any visible tool marks or construction evidence. Unlike many ancient megalithic sites where chisel marks dragging paths or quarry remnants can be found, the stone pendulums exhibit none of these clues. The stones themselves do not always match the local geology, either suggesting that they may have been transported from distant locations. An even more daunting task given their weight and the region's difficult terrain. Adding to the mystery is the fact that local legends and oral histories say nothing about these formations. Unlike Stonehenge or Easter Island, where ancient myths offer at least symbolic context, the stone pendulums seem to have emerged from a historical void. There are no carvings, no inscriptions, no folklore. They stand in silent isolation. Some theorists believe the pendulums were aligned with geomagnetic anomalies or energy grids, possibly used for ancient rituals, earth measurements, or celestial tracking. A few stones, indeed, point toward areas of known magnetic disruption, prompting speculation about an unknown knowledge of geophysics or earth energies. Others wonder if the pendulums are remnants of a long-lost technology, now beyond our grasp, designed to interact with natural forces in ways we no longer understand. Yet despite decades of occasional study, the mechanism by which these massive stones are held in place remains unsolved. They do not appear glued, wedged, or locked into their surroundings, and attempts to model their stability through modern physics have produced more questions than answers. In a world where laser scanning, ground-penetrating radar, and AI reconstruction have demystified many ancient riddles, the stone pendulums of southern Siberia remain suspended not just in stone, but in time theory and wonder. What were they for? Who placed them here? And how are they still standing? Until we can answer these questions, they will continue to whisper across the Siberian wind, ancient riddles that resist gravity, logic, and certainty. Amid the scorched and arid deserts of Oman, where endless sands stretch to the horizon and the wind seems frozen, in time stands a bizarre formation that has astonished both scientists and travelers alike: the Stone Heart of Oman. Hidden among ancient sediment and rolling dunes, this rock is not merely a piece of matter shaped by time, but a creation so perfect it provokes debate, resembling an almost flawless heart. And most intriguingly, there are no signs of human intervention whatsoever. But what do you think? Is it a rare masterpiece of nature, or could it be the forgotten work of ancient hands? Share your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear your theories. This is precisely what makes the Stone Heart so mysterious. With its smooth curves and central groove, much like the cleft of an actual heart, the structure evokes the image of a finely crafted sculpture. And yet, under all forms of detailed inspection and analysis, no tool marks of carving, cutting, or chiseling have ever been found. There are no signs of metal tools, no clean incisions, no artificial grooves. Everything appears impossibly natural. Some archaeologists once theorized that it could be a weathered monument from an ancient civilization, but after geological scanning and surface-level testing, all hypotheses of artificial alteration have been ruled out. Some geologists have suggested that the stone's shape may have formed through natural erosion, perhaps from sand, wind, and extreme temperatures over thousands of years. However, even under the harshest weathering conditions, producing a formation with such proportional symmetry, a distinct central groove, and strong symbolic meaning with no similar stones or fragmented formations nearby seems almost impossible. Some researchers even call it one of the rarest examples of perfect natural coincidence, though even they admit, if nature created this, then coincidence has surpassed the limits of randomness. The stone stands alone, on a bed of sand, unconnected to any surrounding rock formation. The geological composition of the surrounding ground is entirely different, leading many to suspect that it may have migrated from elsewhere, perhaps from some distant ancient mountain range, carried over time by geological shifts or ancient catastrophes such as glacial movement or landslides. However, no concrete scientific evidence currently supports any of these speculative journeys within this region. For generations, local people have regarded the rock as a sacred symbol, According to an old Bedouin legend, it is the heart of a prince turned to stone after his forbidden love for a princess from a rival tribe was tragically denied. They believed that a heart shape so perfect could not have appeared in the barren desert by chance. It must be a sign from a distant past, crafted by human hands, or perhaps by a force beyond current understanding. Today, tourists and mystery seekers often journey to witness this strange stone with their own eyes. Though it lacks the fanfare of Oman's more famous landmarks, it is this quiet presence, the haunting stillness of the stone heart, that makes it unforgettable. They arrive, stand before it, and inevitably ask themselves, why does it take the shape of a heart? Why not some other form? And why are there absolutely no signs that any human ever touched it? It is a question with no answer, and perhaps it will remain a mystery forever. Just like the very heart, it resembles silent, concealed, and deeply evocative. The disappearing bridge of the Amazon is one of the lesser-known yet mesmerizing mysteries hidden deep within the vast Amazon rainforest. Unlike modern bridges built by human hands, this bridge does not exist permanently. Instead, it only appears at certain times of the year, usually during the peak of the dry season when the Amazon River drops to record low levels. Strangely, its appearance does not follow any predictable cycle. Some years it emerges, and some years it doesn't. Sometimes it takes 3 to 5 years before this familiar image reappears in the middle of a dried-out riverbed. What do you think causes the sudden appearance of this mysterious bridge? Natural forces, ancient technology, or something beyond explanation? Share your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear your theory. When it appears, the bridge closely resembles an ancient stone bridge. From a distance, it looks like a man-made structure built centuries ago. But when researchers approach, they are stunned to realize that the formation shows no trace of engineering or construction techniques. There is no concrete, no foundation, no metal fastenings, nor any signs of tools used. It consists solely of massive stone blocks placed side by side in a nearly perfect alignment, so precise that it's hard to believe it occurred naturally. Even more puzzling is the fact that the surface of the bridge appears worn smooth, as if thousands of footsteps had passed over it over time. Yet the local people refuse to walk on it. To them, this is a spirit bridge, a sacred and dangerous place, where the boundary between life and death is thin and shifting. They believe only those chosen by the forest can step onto the bridge without facing a curse. But the most confounding aspect and the greatest mystery for scientists is how the bridge completely vanishes during the rainy season. When the Amazon River rises, the bridge doesn't just submerge like a normal object. It seems to vanish entirely from existence. Multiple survey teams have marked the exact coordinates where the bridge once stood. Yet when they return, during the flood season, they find absolutely nothing beneath the water's surface. No sonar images reveal its presence. No underwater obstacles. Not even a single stone resembling the structure once seen. The bridge, once vividly real, simply disappears, as if it had never existed at all. Some researchers have proposed that it could be a rare geological phenomenon, perhaps rock formations pushed upward by changes in subterranean pressure, only to be swept away or buried under layers of riverbed silt when the waters return. But so far, no theory has proven convincing. Satellite imagery, topographical maps, and survey data have all failed to capture the existence or disappearance of this so-called ghost bridge. Local people don't need scientific explanations. They believe the bridge is part of the Amazon's spiritual ecosystem, a pathway that only opens when the forest needs to send a message or restore balance between life and death. They tell stories of people who stepped onto the bridge and were never seen again. No body, no trace. Only the sound of wind and the whispers of a curse passed down through generations. The vanishing bridge of the Amazon is more than just a physical anomaly. It is a symbol of the rainforest's deep mystery, one that continues to elude modern understanding. And every time it appears and disappears again, it reminds us that there are still places on Earth where science cannot yet reach and perhaps never should. The five-faced mask of Lapland is far more than a typical archaeological find. Emerging from the icy wilderness of Lapland, this mask raises profound and unanswered questions about its origin, its intended use, and perhaps most intriguingly, its psychological impact on those who observe it. Within archaeological circles, it is considered a rare artifact that blurs the line between symbol and reality, between art and ritual, between looking and the unsettling sensation of being looked back at. What do you think this mask was really made for? Was it a ritual tool, a psychological weapon, or something else entirely beyond our understanding? Share your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear your theory. Discovered beneath ancient moss layers in Lapland, a frigid region spanning Sweden, Finland, Norway, and Russia, the mask is carved from a single block of dense wood. It features 5 completely distinct faces, each expressing a vivid emotion: rage, fear, calm, mockery, and emptiness. What makes it even more unusual is that none of the faces is the front. No matter the angle, it feels as though at least one face is staring directly at you. While the mask is about the size of a human head, the experience of facing it goes far beyond its physical proportions. What has made this mask truly famous and controversial is the bizarre psychological experience reported by those who spend too much time observing it. Museum visitors and researchers alike have described mild disorientation, chills, or even the sensation of losing track of time. Some claim that looking into the mask feels like being seen through the soul, regardless of which face they're looking at. These reactions are not merely anecdotal. Similar effects have been recorded across multiple independent study groups, piquing the interest of neuroscientists. According to neuroscientists, this may be a phenomenon known as asymmetric emotional conflict stimulation. The brain, when forced to interpret multiple opposing facial expressions simultaneously, anger, fear, serenity, enters a state of frontal lobe fatigue, particularly in areas responsible for emotional processing and facial recognition. Furthermore, the presence of micro-asymmetries between the faces, almost imperceptible to the eye, may activate subconscious alarm systems in the brain, triggering ancient survival responses to distorted or unnatural faces. Combine these elements, create a deep psychological effect, making it hard for viewers to fully detach from the mask's influence even after leaving the exhibit. Some scholars and esoteric researchers believe the mask is more than a work of art, possibly a ritual object used for visionary practices or spirit communication. Ancient Nordic folklore speaks of Sami shamans who could wear many faces to journey into different spiritual realms. If this is true, each face on the mask could represent a distinct spiritual entity, or perhaps different aspects of the same entity inhabiting the artifact. The mask defies clear cultural classification. The intertwined spiral symbol at its base resembles carvings found in ancient Siberia, but no known Lapland culture used such designs. The wood itself is unusual, almost fossilized, and unlike any tree native to the region. It might be a ritual object, a psychological weapon, or even something beyond current artistic concepts, a creation for which we simply lack the vocabulary to describe accurately. One thing is certain, if you stand before this mask long enough, you're not just looking into it, you're being looked at from multiple directions all at once. The rootless grove of Oman is one of the most mysterious and unexplained natural phenomena in the modern Middle East. Hidden deep within a remote region of Oman, this grove has long been the subject of debate among biologists, climatologists, and even those who believe in the supernatural. How can a forest exist without showing any signs of roots? And how did it appear so quietly as if it had grown out of nowhere? But here's the question for you. If a forest can grow in silence, without roots, without a past, what does that say about the world we think we already understand? Do you believe there's a scientific explanation we just haven't found yet? Or could this be something beyond science? Something ancient, forgotten, or even unnatural? Share your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear your theory about the rootless grove of Oman. The trees in this grove grow in clusters, tall, wide canopied, but what's truly strange is that no roots are visible at the base. Even when researchers use specialized equipment to dig into the ground, they fail to find any root systems at typical depths. Some samples brought back for analysis reveal healthy plant tissue capable of absorbing and retaining water like tropical plants, yet their genetic sequences cannot be fully traced, unlike ordinary trees. This raises the theory either these are entirely new species or they have evolved beyond current biological models. Despite being in an arid climate, far from any known water sources, the trees remain green and vibrant year-round. There are no irrigation systems, no detected underground water channels, yet the forest seems to thrive as if nourished by some unidentified energy. At night, faint greenish light sometimes glows from the tree trunks, a phenomenon typically associated with bioluminescence. However, no glowing fungi, insects, or algae have been detected. On certain nights, this light becomes more pronounced, making the forest appear to wear a mystical shroud, evoking ancient, uncharted lands. Still, the most bizarre and hotly debated aspect is the origin of the forest. Across all old maps, geological records, and oral traditions in Oman, there is no mention of the grove before the 20th century. No local residents recall any tales from their ancestors describing such a strange cluster of trees. No colonial-era documentation from the British or Portuguese mentions this area as anything notable. Some researchers even propose that the grove grew itself only in the past few decades, as if it doesn't follow the normal rules of time and biological development. Many theories have been proposed. A forgotten biological experiment, an ancient plant species once extinct, now mysteriously revived, a form of pre-biological life, existing outside modern biological frameworks. Some radical scientists have suggested that this might be a living remnant of an ancient civilization with advanced bioengineering, which may have been reawakened by climate change or shifts in the Earth's magnetic field. So far, no official explanation exists. The Omani government maintains a neutral stance. It neither prohibits research nor allocates resources for deeper investigation. This has only deepened the grove's allure as a place where reality and myth intersect, and modern science is left speechless. The rootless grove is more than just a bizarre patch of trees. It represents the limits of human understanding in the face of nature. It reminds us that there are still countless things not yet written in textbooks, and perhaps, if the grove's secrets are ever uncovered, they might reshape how we see life itself, biological history, and even the very story of Earth. Hidden deep within the remote steppes of Kalmykia, Russia, lies a site so strange and unsettling that it challenges everything we think we know about ancient civilizations. The circle of bone walls. Unlike the stone monuments of Egypt or the wooden fortresses of early Europe, this eerie structure was built entirely from animal bones, thousands upon thousands of them, stacked and arranged into massive circular enclosures. Who gathered these bones? What compelled them to raise such haunting walls in the middle of an empty steppe? And most baffling of all, why would a Bronze Age society abandon stone and wood in favor of this macabre, bone-built design? This is not just another archaeological site. It's a riddle carved into prehistory, daring us to uncover its forgotten purpose. What do you think about this eerie mystery? Could the circle of bone walls have been part of an ancient ritual, a lost civilization's symbol of power, or something far stranger that we can't yet imagine? Share your theories in the comments below. What's your take on why a Bronze Age society would build massive walls entirely from animal bones? These bone walls are described as circular or nearly circular, with diameters ranging from several meters to over 20 meters, stacked from thousands of bones of varying sizes. The layers of bones are arranged in successive rings, forming a solid yet highly unusual structure. Radiocarbon analysis indicates that these bones date back roughly 4,000 to 6,000 years, aligning with the early Bronze Age in the Caspian region. Notably, most of the bones have been identified as belonging to livestock and large animals, such as horses, cattle, wild camels, and even some species that have long been extinct. This raises pressing questions. How were ancient communities able to collect such an immense quantity of bones? And did their selection of these specific animals hold symbolic meaning within their beliefs or social practices? Furthermore, no traces of human remains have been discovered within or around the site, ruling out the possibility of it being a cemetery or mass burial ground, which only deepens the enigma surrounding the true purpose of this extraordinary structure. The most fascinating and perplexing feature of the circle of bone walls is undoubtedly its unresolved function, which has puzzled archaeologists and historians for decades. Despite extensive research, no definitive explanation has emerged, and each new hypothesis only seems to deepen the mystery further. Scholars have proposed various theories, each attempting to explain why a Bronze Age society would construct massive circular structures entirely out of animal bones, an architectural choice unprecedented in known ancient history. One of the most prominent theories suggests that the site may have served as a ritual or religious area. In many ancient cultures, animal bones carried symbolic value, often associated with concepts of sacrifice, fertility, or the cycle of life and death. The sheer volume of bones used indicates deliberate and repeated collection over a long period, implying that this was not a one-time event, but part of a larger cultural or spiritual tradition. These walls might have been built to honor deities related to hunting or livestock, with the bones acting as tangible offerings symbolizing devotion. However, this theory faces a significant obstacle. There is no evidence of ritual artifacts such as altars, idols, or fire pits, elements typically linked to ceremonial sites. The absence of such evidence leaves the religious hypothesis largely speculative. Another intriguing possibility is the proto-astronomical observatory hypothesis. The near-perfect circular shape and strategic positioning of the walls evoke comparisons to ancient structures like Stonehenge, which are believed to align with celestial events such as solstices or equinoxes. Some researchers have even suggested that the bone alignments may correspond to the paths of the sun or moon, indicating the site could have functioned as an early calendar to mark seasonal cycles, vital for agriculture or hunting. However, the lack of precise data and supporting markers for astronomical alignment weakens this argument, leaving it as an attractive but unproven speculation. A third hypothesis focuses on social or political symbolism. From this perspective, the circle of bone walls could represent collective strength or the authority of ruling elites. Building such enormous bone walls would have required not only immense labor, but also the organizational capacity to manage large herds of livestock or conduct large-scale hunting operations. The construction may have been intended as a powerful visual statement of control over both nature and society. Yet this theory raises a crucial question. If it was a display of power, why was it built in such a remote and harsh area, far from any settlements or population centers? Its isolation complicates the idea of it serving as a visible symbol for a community. Some researchers have even considered hybrid explanations, proposing that the circle of bone walls may have served multiple purposes over time, beginning as a ceremonial or symbolic site, and later being repurposed for communal gatherings or seasonal observances. This multifunctional interpretation is appealing as it reflects how many ancient sites evolved through generations, shaped by shifting cultural needs and beliefs. Yet the lack of stratified evidence or layered artifacts makes it impossible to establish a clear timeline of such transformations. Adding to the enigma is the complete absence of human traces or nearby settlements, which typically provide vital context. Without evidence of daily life or habitation in the vicinity, it is difficult to determine whether this was a site frequently visited by local communities or a specialized location reserved for rare, possibly sacred occasions. This ambiguity positions the circle of bone walls as an outlier, a structure detached from the typical patterns of ancient human activity. These unanswered questions make the circle of bone walls one of the greatest archaeological mysteries in Russia. Its isolated location in the Kalmykian steppe adds to the difficulty of study. This is an arid region with sparse population and no traces of ancient towns or villages nearby. This raises significant questions. Who transported this massive quantity of bones here? How did they manage to collect such a vast number of animal remains during a time when tools and technology were still primitive? Some unconventional theories even link the circle of bone walls to unknown prehistoric civilizations or mystical practices related to the worship of animal spirits. Though lacking scientific basis, these ideas captivate the public imagination, feeding the notion of an ancient world full of enigmas that humanity has yet to uncover. To this day, no comprehensive excavation has been conducted to fully unravel this structure. Research is hindered by harsh geography, limited resources, and especially the absence of associated cultural artifacts. Archaeologists can only collect bone fragments, analyze their age, and make inferences based on current knowledge. Thus, the circle of bone walls remains a symbol of archaeological mystery, defying all modern scientific attempts to explain it. It serves as a reminder that countless prehistoric secrets remain undiscovered. It could be a remnant of a lost culture with unusual customs, or merely a result of a unique survival practice. Either way, the true function of the circle of bone walls remains an unanswered question, continuing to attract scholars, researchers, and enthusiasts of ancient mysteries worldwide. In the world of archaeology, few phenomena spark as much debate and widespread attention as the Abydos helicopter hieroglyph, a series of mysterious carvings discovered on the ceiling of the Temple of Seti I in Abydos, Egypt. These hieroglyphs appear to depict images strikingly similar to modern technology, from helicopters and submarines to shapes resembling futuristic spacecraft. This raises a profound question. How could a civilization from 3,000 years ago create carvings that so closely resemble 20th century technology. Although many explanations have been proposed, ranging from mainstream scientific theories to more mystical hypotheses, this phenomenon remains one of the most enigmatic, unsolved mysteries, fueling curiosity and sparking heated debates about human history. What do you think about this mystery? Are the carvings at Abydos merely a coincidence caused by overlapping inscriptions over time, or are they truly traces of knowledge far beyond the era of ancient Egypt? Share your thoughts in the comments below. The Temple of Seti I in Abydos, built around the 13th century BCE, is one of the most iconic architectural works of Egypt's New Kingdom period. Dedicated to Pharaoh Seti I, the father of Ramses II, it is renowned for its intricately carved walls and classic hieroglyphic inscriptions. However, what has turned this temple into a global focal point of controversy is not its familiar artistic grandeur, but rather a peculiar detail on its ceiling. Here, archaeologists discovered a set of hieroglyphs that, upon close examination, appear to form astonishingly modern shapes. A helicopter with clearly defined rotor blades, an object resembling a submarine, a shape similar to a jet plane, and even lines that modern observers associate with a spacecraft. The discovery of these carvings quickly spread beyond academic circles, shaking the research community and sparking intense debates between mainstream science, alternative history theories, and enthusiasts of the mysterious, ultimately making it one of the most famous and intriguing archaeological phenomena in the world. Most Egyptologists believe that the Abydos helicopter mystery actually stems from a well-known archaeological phenomenon, overcarving. During the initial construction phase under Pharaoh Seti I, and the original hieroglyphs were carefully carved onto the temple ceiling. After Seti I's death, his son Ramses II ascended the throne and undertook renovations and modifications in his father's temple. In this process, new hieroglyphs were carved over the old ones to assert Ramses II's power and mark his reign. Over thousands of years, natural factors such as erosion, flaking of the stone surface, and weathering gradually exposed these overlapping carvings. As a result, the old and new inscriptions merged, forming random shapes that, from a modern perspective, look strikingly similar to vehicles like helicopters, submarines, or jet planes. This phenomenon is known as palimpsest, which is not exclusive to Egyptian architecture, but is also common in ancient manuscripts, where erased texts were overwritten only to have time reveal both layers. The strength of this theory lies in its logic and archaeological evidence. Egyptian temples were often renovated across dynasties, and Ramses II's practice of recarving to leave his mark is well documented in historical records. However, the key controversy lies in the astonishing geometric precision of the overlapping forms. It's hard to believe that mere coincidence could create shapes so closely resembling modern machinery. This detail fuels skepticism, suggesting that while the scientific explanation is plausible, it may not fully dispel the enduring allure of the Abydos helicopter mystery. The hypothesis of a lost advanced civilization suggests that the strange carvings at Abydos are remnants of a society far more sophisticated than ancient Egypt. According to this view, there once existed a civilization possessing superior technology and knowledge, but it was wiped out by a cataclysmic event such as the Great Flood or global geological upheaval. The ancient Egyptians were merely inheritors, replicating symbols or signs from this earlier era without truly understanding their meaning. Supporters of this theory often link it to the legend of Atlantis or stories of a golden age, when humanity or even another species achieved a level of advancement far beyond what we know today. For them, This provides a reasonable explanation for the presence of carvings that resemble modern technology. The ancient alien hypothesis suggests that extraterrestrial beings once made contact with ancient Egypt and left their mark through carvings such as the Abydos helicopter. According to this view, the carvings resembling helicopters, airplanes, or submarines are not coincidences, but rather direct depictions of flying technology and vehicles that ancient people actually witnessed. Supporters also point to the uncanny similarities between monumental structures like the Egyptian pyramids and those in Central America, interpreting them as evidence of a shared knowledge base beyond the capacity of ancient civilizations. Although dismissed by mainstream academia due to a lack of scientific evidence, this hypothesis persists, strongly fueled by its allure in popular culture and its ability to offer explanations for perplexing gaps in human history. One of the factors that makes the mystery of the Abydos helicopter hieroglyph so difficult to decipher lies in its unique and singular nature. First, these carvings appear exclusively at the Temple of Setiwat in Abydos, with no precedent or similar examples found in any other ancient Egyptian monument, making comparison or cross-referencing nearly impossible. Furthermore, erosion and damage over thousands of years have caused the stone surface to flake and deteriorate, blurring the original lines and making accurate analysis extremely challenging. In addition, there are absolutely no ancient texts or records explaining these symbols, forcing researchers to rely solely on direct observation and indirect inference. The combination of these three factors has created a significant gap in information, allowing this mystery to persist and remain a subject of endless debate. This mystery extends beyond academia and into popular culture. The Abydos helicopter has appeared in documentaries, Ancient Aliens, TV shows, books on historical enigmas, and online forums. It reflects a broader reality. The public is fascinated by historical voids, where unanswered questions allow myth, imagination, and speculation to flourish. To this day, the overcarving hypothesis remains the most accepted explanation among scholars. Yet the astonishing visual resemblance to modern vehicles keeps the Abydos helicopter hieroglyph at the center of debate, straddling the line where science and imagination collide. The question lingers: is this merely a quirk of time and erosion, or could it be a hidden trace of knowledge far ahead of its era, waiting to be uncovered? High on the rugged highlands of northern Ethiopia, where ancient legends echo through the windswept plains, rise the towering Axum obelisks, colossal stone giants carved from single blocks of granite. These monuments, some as tall as a 10-story building and weighing hundreds of tons, defy both time and logic. For over 1,500 years, they have stood as silent sentinels, challenging everything we know about ancient engineering. How did a civilization without advanced tools or machines quarry, transport, and raise stones so massive that even today's technology struggles to match their feat? This is not merely the story of a forgotten kingdom, it is a riddle carved in stone, one that continues to baffle historians, archaeologists, and engineers alike. What do you think about this mystery? Did the Axumites possess lost lifting techniques, or is this evidence of a level of advancement far beyond what we imagine of the ancient world? Share your thoughts or theories on how they could have erected these colossal stone pillars in the comments below. These obelisks are colossal, ranging from 10 meters to over 33 meters tall, with some weighing more than 500 tons. To put that into perspective, this is equivalent to the weight of a fully loaded Boeing 747 airliner. Carved from single blocks of granite, a material of immense hardness, These monoliths required exceptionally sharp tools and advanced techniques for precision shaping. Yet archaeological evidence shows no sign that the Axumites possessed iron or bronze tools sophisticated enough to work granite at such a massive scale. The extraction of these enormous stones alone was daunting, but transporting them from distant quarries to Axum across kilometers of mountainous terrain presents an even greater puzzle. There is no evidence of wheeled transport in the region during this period, nor are there traces of rails or complex lifting equipment. Researchers hypothesize that the Axumites may have relied on wooden rollers ropes and the collective strength of thousands of workers. However, calculations of the manpower needed to drag a 500-ton stone over rough terrain suggest such methods would have been nearly impossible. Erecting the colossal Axum obelisks was an astonishing engineering challenge, even if the quarrying and transportation processes had already been solved. A single obelisk standing 33 meters tall and weighing up to 500 tons required near-perfect precision to avoid collapse or breakage. In modern times, such tasks demand high-capacity cranes, laser leveling systems, reinforced foundations, and an array of specialized equipment. When the largest obelisk was repatriated from Rome to Axum in 2005, modern engineers, even with advanced technology, needed nearly 3 months to reassemble and raise it. This raises a crucial question. If 21st century technology required months and heavy machinery, how did the ancient Axumites accomplish this with nothing but manpower and rudimentary tools? Some scholars suggest they may have used an inclined trench method, positioning the obelisk horizontally and gradually raising it by backfilling soil to create upward force. However, given its immense size and weight, this approach carried an extreme risk of breakage, as evidenced by the fractured and toppled obelisks still scattered around Axum. These traces reveal how perilous the erection process was, demanding flawless calculations where even the slightest mistake could destroy a monument representing years of labor. Thus, the mystery of how the Axumites achieved such extraordinary precision continues to challenge scholars, sparking ongoing debates about the technical capabilities and organizational skills of this remarkable civilization. One of the most astonishing aspects of the Axum obelisks lies not only in their massive size, but also in their incredibly intricate carving techniques. These were not mere rough-hewn stone blocks. They were meticulously shaped into multi-tiered false architecture, complete with details such as doors, windows, and decorative patterns that were flawlessly uniform and symmetrical. The deep, evenly cut engravings suggest that the Axumites intended more than just simple monuments. They envisioned these obelisks as eternal houses for kings or members of the elite class. This raises major questions about the tools and methods they used. Granite, being extremely hard, would require sharper tools, or at least highly effective abrasives, to achieve such precision. Yet archaeological evidence indicates that Axumite metallurgy had not reached the advanced level of other contemporary civilizations. Even with modern equipment, replicating such deep, straight, and perfectly symmetrical carvings by hand would demand an extraordinary amount of time and master-level skill. Therefore, these obelisks are not only symbols of power, but also undeniable proof of artistic and technical sophistication far beyond what is typically attributed to ancient cultures in the Horn of Africa. The grandeur of the Axum obelisks has sparked countless theories and debates spanning decades. Some scholars believe the Axumites possessed construction techniques that have since been lost, possibly involving massive pulley systems, sophisticated lever frameworks, or even the strategic use of gravity and water to lift and position stone blocks weighing hundreds of tons. These theories are based on calculations suggesting that conventional manual methods would have been nearly insufficient to move and erect such colossal structures. Additionally, bolder viewpoints propose that the existence of these obelisks may be linked to unknown advanced civilizations or even extraterrestrial involvement, an idea often brought up in discussions of other out-of-time monuments like the Pyramids of Giza or Stonehenge. However, mainstream archaeology tends to favor a more grounded explanation. These obelisks stand as evidence of the Aksumite kingdom's extraordinary social organization and collective labor power. As a major trade hub connecting the Mediterranean and the Indian Ocean, Aksum could have mobilized thousands of workers, combining this manpower with traditional construction knowledge to achieve such a feat. Yet the absence of any ancient texts detailing their exact methods ensures that this mystery continues to captivate researchers. The absence of definitive evidence keeps the Aksum obelisks at the center of scholarly intrigue. Unraveling how these structures were raised would not only unlock the secrets of Aksum, but also reshape our understanding of African civilization's technological capabilities, challenging the long-standing bias that often places them below Egypt or Mesopotamia in terms of engineering prowess. In fact, when compared to other wonders of its era, the Aksum obelisks stand out for their scale and technical complexity. They are not just monuments, they symbolize a level of engineering and coordinated labor rivaling the world's greatest ancient feats. They even provoke broader questions about the transfer of knowledge between indigenous expertise and international influences via ancient trade networks. The voice chamber of Mount Etna, also known as the echo chamber of Etna, is one of the most unique and mysterious natural phenomena ever recorded within Italy's famous volcanic system. Deep inside Mount Etna, this cavern draws attention, not only because of its rare volcanic origin, but also for its ability to produce echoes so peculiar that many compare it to a machine simulating human voices. Entering the voice chamber has baffled countless visitors and scientists alike, as the sounds heard here are unlike anywhere else on Earth. Faint echoes emanating from the rocky walls, tones shifting with each step, and at times an unmistakable sensation of someone whispering right by your ear, even though no one else is there. What do you think is really happening inside the voice chamber of Mount Etna? Is it just an extraordinary quirk of acoustics, or could there be something more mysterious at play deep within the mountain? Share your thoughts and theories in the comments below. What makes this phenomenon particularly extraordinary is its ability to echo like human voices, described by many as both vivid and eerie. When you make a sound, whether speaking, whistling, or even just footsteps, the chamber responds with distorted echoes in a unique way. High frequencies are subdued, while mid-range tones close to human vocal frequencies are oddly amplified. As a result, the echoes sound like deep, husky voices, sometimes resembling whispers. Acoustic researchers have measured and confirmed that the chamber's natural architecture is key curved rock surfaces, concave alcoves, and twisting tunnels connected to the main cavity create an intricate acoustic resonance effect that is nearly impossible to replicate in ordinary laboratories. The deeper researchers studied it, the more they realized that the unique shape of the voice chamber has turned it into an almost perfect natural acoustic resonance system. The cave structure, with its curved walls, uneven surfaces, and twisting tunnels connected to the main chamber, allows sound waves to reflect continuously, being compressed or elongated depending on the curvature and depth of each section. As these echoes overlap at various points, they create a complex, multi-layered effect, making listeners feel surrounded by invisible voices emanating from all directions. Particularly at the center of the chamber, the phenomenon of amplified reverberation reaches its peak, where even the faintest sounds, like breathing or the rustling of clothing resonate, clearly stretch out, and multiply several times over. This experience often leaves visitors shivering, as if someone were standing right behind them in the oppressive darkness of the mountain's depths. Initial studies show that the sound frequencies in the voice chamber primarily range from 85 to 255 Hz, which coincide with the average frequency range of a male voice. This is a key factor in explaining why the echoes here sound so similar to human speech. Notably, measurements have also recorded a phenomenon known as selective absorption, where higher-pitched tones are significantly dampened, while mid-range frequencies closely matching human vocal tones are strongly amplified. This results in echoes that are deep resonant and lifelike, vastly different from those in typical limestone caves, where sound merely reflects clearly without the distinctive distortion, making the voice chamber a truly unique acoustic space. Many visitors have reported that when they call out loudly or make random noises, the voice chamber responds with echoes that sound like fragmented sentences. Scientists refer to this as an auditory illusion, where the brain attempts to piece together distorted and disjointed sounds into familiar patterns resembling human speech. This strange phenomenon has fueled numerous Sicilian folk tales, where locals call it the whispering chamber of the mountain demon, believing that the spirit of Etna warns off intruders. Before modern science intervened, locals genuinely believed mysterious voices existed within the mountain, making this place both sacred and fearsome. Beyond the acoustic factors, the environment inside the voice chamber plays a crucial role in amplifying this strange sound phenomenon. Humidity remains consistently high, and the temperature is stable due to geothermal activity from Mount Etna, creating ideal conditions for sound waves to travel with unusual intensity and properties. This combination causes echoes to be altered, making them feel more lifelike and easily mistaken for human voices. Additionally, in this enclosed, dark environment, human auditory perception becomes more sensitive, heightening the likelihood of auditory illusions. Some experts believe this is a unique intersection of acoustic science, sensory psychology, and an enclosed natural setting, producing a phenomenon so extraordinary that it astonishes even the most seasoned sound researchers. Although it has been known for a long time, the voice chamber of Mount Etna has yet to be thoroughly studied, largely due to its remote location and hazardous terrain, which make access difficult and require specialized safety equipment. Additionally, the unusual echo phenomenon inside complicates precise measurements, as sound waves are constantly bent and reflected multiple times across uneven rock surfaces. Experiments using directional microphones and multi-point sensors have revealed that sound does not travel in straight lines here, but instead forms a complex reflection network similar to advanced artificial reverberation chambers, but entirely natural, making the analysis of its acoustic mechanisms a significant challenge for scientists. Beyond scientific theories, the voice chamber is steeped in lore. Some tales claim ancient monks meditated here to hear the voices of the gods. Others suggest the echoes are Earth's residual hum, born from Etna's geological activity. Yet these remain folklore, as no concrete evidence of the supernatural has been found. Today, the voice chamber attracts not only acousticians and geologists, but also thrill-seekers. Standing in its dense darkness, hearing echoes from every direction and feeling as if you're conversing with your own sound ghost makes it a one-of-a-kind experience. For those who visit, it's more than a physical phenomenon. It's a journey to the boundary between reality and illusion, science and mystery. Its ability to produce eerily human-like echoes cements the voice chamber of Mount Etna as an unresolved enigma. It challenges science with its acoustic puzzles while inspiring imagination through its folklore. Until modern research fully explains it, the chamber remains a gateway of sound, reminding us that Earth still holds wonders far beyond our understanding. Imagine walking deep into an ancient Egyptian temple, lit only by the faint glow of torches, when suddenly you come across a carving that looks shockingly out of place. They're etched into the stone walls of the Temple of Hathor. At Dendera is an image that appears almost futuristic, a shape so strikingly similar to a modern electric light bulb that it stops you in your tracks. Known today as the Egyptian light bulb relief or the Dendera light, this mysterious depiction has fueled decades of heated debate, captivating archaeologists, sparking theories of forgotten technology, and challenging everything we thought we knew about the limits of ancient Egyptian knowledge. Could this be evidence of an advanced technology lost to time, or is it merely a misunderstood symbol of their complex mythology? What do you think about this carving? Could this be evidence of an advanced technology lost since ancient Egypt? Or is it simply a religious symbol that we've misunderstood through our modern perspective? Share your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear your take on this mystery. At first glance, most people cannot help but immediately associate the relief with the image of a modern electric light bulb. The carving depicts a long, oval-shaped object, almost identical to the glass body of a large bulb. Inside this object is a smooth, curved line, stretching from one end to the other, closely resembling the glowing filament found in contemporary bulbs. At the lower end of the object, there is a cylindrical detail directly connected to it, which many believe looks like a bulb socket or a component for supplying power. Surrounding this image are figures standing in attendance, one of whom appears to be holding or supporting the bulb-like object, making it seem even more like a mechanical device than an abstract religious symbol. These vivid details have become the focal point of heated debates. Could it be that the ancient Egyptians once possessed a form of advanced lighting technology that was lost to time, leaving no physical evidence behind? Or is this an indication that they harnessed and applied some form of natural energy or electrical principle that modern science has yet to fully uncover? Although the light bulb-like appearance of the relief is undeniable, mainstream Egyptologists present a completely different interpretation based on the religious context and symbolic elements of ancient Egyptian culture. According to them, the carving has nothing to do with technology, but is instead a complex mythological symbol. In the traditional explanation, the elongated oval object is viewed as a giant lotus flower from which a long coiling serpent emerges. In Egyptian mythology, this serpent represents divine energy, the flow of creation and the primordial life force connecting humanity to the cosmos. The cylindrical base is believed to be the Djed pillar, a symbol of stability, strength, and power, often associated with Osiris, the god of rebirth and cosmic order. Thus, the entire relief is seen as a depiction of the creation of the universe and divine power expressed symbolically rather than as a literal physical object. However, for many who have seen the relief firsthand or studied its imagery in detail, it is difficult to overlook its striking visual similarity to an electric bulb, a technology invented millennia after ancient Egypt, sparking debates over whether we have truly understood the meaning of this enigmatic carving. The hypothesis of lost technology stems from the unique details in the relief and puzzling archaeological evidence. Proponents argue that the near-total absence of soot or smoke traces within Egyptian temples and ancient structures is a crucial clue. If torches or oil lamps had been used to illuminate enclosed spaces, such as pyramids or deep sanctuaries, the ceilings and walls would surely bear signs of burning. Yet surveys reveal that these surfaces remain almost entirely clean. Based on this, some fringe researchers, notably Erich von Däniken, have cited the light bulb image at Dendera as evidence that the Egyptians may have utilized a form of ancient electric lighting. They even redrew the relief structure and compared it to the design of a Crookes tube, an early 19th century vacuum discharge lamp, highlighting striking similarities: a long glass tube, a curved internal conductor, and a base connected to a power source. These details further fuel suspicions that the technical knowledge of ancient Egyptians may have been far more advanced than we have traditionally imagined. The electric light bulb hypothesis, though fascinating, faces strong opposition from the scientific community. Egyptologists firmly assert that there is no archaeological evidence showing that the ancient Egyptians had wires, power sources, or the materials necessary to create lighting devices. They argue that interpreting the relief as a depiction of modern technology is merely a projection of contemporary understanding onto ancient culture, disregarding its religious and symbolic context. To explain the issue of lighting, many experts propose that the Egyptians used polished copper mirrors to reflect sunlight deep into their structures, thus minimizing the need for torches or oil lamps. However, critics contend that this method would have been impractical in deep corridors and sealed inner sanctums where sunlight could barely penetrate, leaving the question of how they illuminated these spaces unresolved. Although mainstream explanations still dominate academic circles, the Dendera light relief continues to spark public imagination. Even if we dismiss the technological aspect, countless questions remain unanswered. Why does this carving bear such an uncanny resemblance to a modern electric bulb, a device invented thousands of years later? If it is merely a mythological symbol, why is it depicted in such a mechanical, detailed, and literal way? More importantly, if the ancient Egyptians did not use fire or electric lighting, how did they illuminate the long, dark corridors and deep inner chambers of their massive structures? These unresolved mysteries have turned the relief into an enduring symbol of unanswered historical questions, fueling ongoing debates about the true knowledge and capabilities of ancient Egyptian civilization. In conclusion, the Egyptian light bulb relief is not merely a religious carving, but a clear symbol of the limits of our understanding of ancient Egypt. This light bulb image stands at the intersection of mainstream science and fringe theories, fueling an ongoing debate with no definitive resolution. Whether you believe in the mythological interpretation or lean toward the idea of lost technology, its allure continues to push us to ask, have we truly grasped the full extent of the knowledge this civilization once possessed, and how many secrets have been buried by time, waiting to be rediscovered? Imagine this: you are standing in a small village in Transylvania, where peaceful fields conceal secrets that have lain dormant for thousands of years. In 1961, beneath this very soil, archaeologist Nikolai Vlasa unexpectedly uncovered 3 tiny clay tablets, each only a few centimeters in size, yet they held a mystery capable of shaking the entire history of humanity. These artifacts, later known as the Tuataria tablets, astonished the scientific world not only because of their unbelievably ancient age, around 5300–5500 BCE, but also because of the symbols carved upon them, mysterious markings that no one has ever been able to decipher, like messages whispered from a long-lost civilization. What do you think about the undeciphered symbols on the Tuataria tablets? Could these be traces of the earliest writing in human history, or are they simply ritualistic religious symbols? Share your thoughts in the comments below. The age of the Tuataria tablets is one of the key factors that make them an extraordinary archaeological phenomenon. Through radiocarbon dating, scientists determined that these clay tablets are approximately 7,000 years old, predating even the Sumerian cuneiform system, long regarded as the foundation of written civilization. If the hypothesis that these truly represent an early form of writing were confirmed, it would compel historians to reconsider the entire origin of human writing, while placing southeastern Europe, particularly the Balkan region, as one of the earliest centers of symbolic recording in history. However, what makes the Tartaria tablets so mysterious is not only their remarkable age, but also the enigmatic symbols carved upon them. Strange forms, unlike any known writing system, leaving them an undeciphered riddle to this day. The symbols carved onto the surfaces of the 3 Tartaria clay tablets are the central factor that makes them one of the greatest mysteries in archaeology. Researchers have identified dozens of distinct markings, from simple geometric shapes such as straight lines, circles, and crosses, to more complex signs reminiscent of animals or natural elements. Notably, some symbols bear a resemblance to early proto-cuneiform from Mesopotamia, while others appear far more abstract, resembling ritualistic or religious motifs rather than a complete linguistic system. This puzzling mixture has fueled academic debate for decades. Are these an early form of writing, or merely signs used for religious or ceremonial purposes? Even with significant advances in research technology, from geometric analysis to semiotics, over half a century has passed without any linguist or symbolist successfully reading or reconstructing their meaning in a convincing way. As a result, these symbols remain like scattered puzzle pieces, defying all attempts to decode the knowledge and communication methods of prehistoric humanity. The hypotheses regarding the nature of the symbols on the Tartaria tablets have been the subject of debate for decades, reflecting both the complexity of the issue and its potential implications for our understanding of human history. The first hypothesis, supported by many scholars, suggests that these tablets represent a form of proto-writing created by the Vinča culture, a highly developed civilization that thrived in the Balkans between 5700–4500 BCE. According to this view, the tablets not only demonstrate symbolic recording that predates Mesopotamia, but also imply that southeastern Europe may have once hosted an intellectual center on par with other cradles of civilization. However, some researchers emphasize the excavation context. The tablets were found alongside human remains and traces of cremation rituals, leading to the theory that they could instead be religious symbols or talismans intended for sacred rites rather than functional written communication. Furthermore, another group of scholars has noted striking similarities between these symbols and motifs found in Mesopotamia, Anatolia, and even India, suggesting the possibility of a cross-cultural symbolic exchange network that existed long before recorded history. These hypotheses are not mutually exclusive and may in fact complement each other, indicating that the Tartaria tablets are not merely isolated artifacts, but rather crucial clues pointing to complex cultural interactions, spiritual practices, and the intellectual evolution of prehistoric humanity mysteries that still await definitive answers. The main reason the symbols on the Tartaria tablets remain undeciphered lies in the lack of comparative data. Unlike Sumerian cuneiform or Egyptian hieroglyphs, systems that left behind thousands of texts and tools like the Rosetta Stone, the Tartaria tablets consist of only 3 small clay pieces, making semantic interpretation nearly impossible. Furthermore, there is no clear evidence of the spoken language of the people from this region, removing the crucial context needed to understand the symbol's meaning. Even with modern technologies such as 3D scanning, geometric semiotic analysis, and global symbol comparison, researchers have yet to find any reliable clues to break this code. This scarcity of artifacts and linguistic information continues to render these symbols an unsolved riddle. If the hypothesis that the Tertiary tablets represent a form of proto-writing were confirmed, it would completely redefine the starting point of human-written civilization. It would not only push the history of writing back thousands of years before Mesopotamia, but also place the Vinca culture and the Balkan region at the very center of the emergence of human knowledge. This implies that the intellectual development of prehistoric humanity may have not originated from a single cradle of civilization, but rather resulted from multiple independent cultural centers evolving simultaneously and possibly interacting with one another. If proven true, this discovery would compel the scientific community to rewrite our entire understanding of how writing and early human cognition emerged. To this day, the Tertiary tablets remain housed in museums studied with advanced tools like 3D scanning, geometric symbolic analysis, and global semiotic comparisons, yet no definitive breakthrough has been achieved. Each new study raises more questions. Do these symbols actually encode information, or are they purely symbolic? If they represent writing, why have no similar artifacts been found nearby? Could they be the remnants of a lost civilization not yet recognized by mainstream history? The mystery of the Tertiary tablets is not merely about 3 small clay tablets etched with marks. It represents a profound gap in humanity's understanding of its own past. These symbols seem to whisper from a forgotten era, challenging us to continue seeking, decoding, and questioning the origins of knowledge, writing, and civilization itself. Until solved, the Tertiary tablets will remain one of archaeology's greatest enigmas, opening the door to endless speculation about ancient cultures we may never fully comprehend. Hidden deep within the Jordanian desert, among the striking red sandstone cliffs, lies Petra, the ancient city of the Nabateans. More than just an architectural marvel carved directly into the mountains, Petra harbors a phenomenon so strange that it has left scientists perplexed: electric resonance. Step inside its ancient temples, and the sound seems to come alive, vibrating through the space, and even your body, while modern instruments detect faint electromagnetic pulses as if the very stones are glowing invisibly. This is not merely a physical mystery, it sparks a profound question. Did the Nabateans accidentally create this effect? Or did they possess knowledge far ahead of their time, harnessing the hidden power of sound and the natural minerals around them? What do you think? Could the mysterious electric resonance of Petra be just a natural coincidence, or evidence that the Nabateans understood and intentionally harnessed sound and energy in ways we still don't fully grasp today? Share your thoughts in the comments below. The surreal acoustic resonance phenomenon inside Petra is one of its most peculiar and noticeable aspects, making it a subject of special study. When scientists emitted low or mid-frequency sounds in the rock chambers, narrow corridors, or ancient temples, they observed that the echoes were not only reflected like in ordinary caves, but were also amplified to an unusual degree, sometimes even distorting, as if the sound carried an invisible electrical charge. Acoustic analyses indicate that the unique sandstone structure of Petra plays a decisive role in this phenomenon. Symmetrically carved walls, long narrow passageways, and naturally domed ceilings create giant resonance chambers that function similarly to string or brass instruments, amplifying sound. When certain frequencies are activated, the air within these spaces vibrates intensely, enveloping listeners and creating the sensation that the sound penetrates deep into the body rather than simply echoing externally. Notably, many visitors have described feeling subtle vibrations in their bones and chest, similar to the effects of infrasound, which cannot be heard by the human ear. This suggests that the phenomenon at Petra is not merely natural acoustics, but rather reflects a complex interplay between architectural space, the physical properties of the stone, and the way sound propagates, raising the possibility that the Nabateans may have either unintentionally or deliberately exploited this characteristic to create experiences far beyond ordinary perception. One of the factors that makes the electric resonance phenomenon at Petra so unique is the detection of faint yet stable electromagnetic oscillations at multiple points within the ancient city. Using portable electromagnetic field EMF measuring devices, researchers discovered that Petra's sandstone walls contain a significant amount of quartz crystals, a mineral well known for its ability to generate small electrical charges under mechanical stress, known as the piezoelectric effect. According to physical theory, when sound resonance at high intensity causes the entire rock mass to vibrate, the quartz crystals within can produce microvolt-level charges. These charges are not strong enough to be dangerous, but can create weak electric field oscillations detectable by modern instruments. Interestingly, many people standing in these areas describe feeling a mild electric sensation, or as if they were enveloped by an invisible energy field corresponding precisely to the spots with the strongest acoustic resonance. This raises a bold hypothesis. Did the Nabateans understand the link between sound minerals and electrical energy? Some scientists argue that this is merely a coincidental natural phenomenon resulting from geological characteristics combined with ancient architectural design. However, others question if these spaces were deliberately constructed to optimize resonance effects. Could it be that the Nabateans, whether intentionally or not, were harnessing a natural principle that modern science is only now beginning to comprehend? Historical texts and archaeological research indicate that Petra was once a major religious center of the Nabateans, where temples carved deep into the cliffs served as venues for rituals dedicated to the gods Dushara and Al-Uzza. Some scholars suggest that Nabatean architects not only focused on visual aesthetics, but also deliberately designed spaces capable of powerfully stimulating human senses. These rituals may have involved ancient musical instruments, drums and chants tuned to specific frequencies that triggered natural acoustic resonance within the temples. As the sound reverberated, the entire space seemed to tremble, creating the impression that the stone and air pulsed in unison. At the same time, faint electromagnetic oscillations from quartz crystals embedded in the rock could have enhanced the divine sensation, convincing participants that they were truly connecting with the gods. If this hypothesis is correct, Petra was not merely an awe-inspiring ancient city, but also a colossal resonance machine designed to directly influence human perception and evoke profound metaphysical experiences. Despite numerous detailed studies on acoustics and electromagnetism, at Petra, the electric resonance phenomenon remains far from fully explained. Scientists continue to pose critical questions. Is the piezoelectric effect from quartz crystals within the rock strong enough to generate an electric field perceptible to the human body? Why do certain areas of Petra exhibit pronounced resonance while others show almost none? Is this merely the result of geological structure and ancient architecture coinciding by chance? Or could it be evidence that the Nabateans understood and applied natural principles far ahead of their time? To seek answers, geologists and physicists have analyzed rock samples, constructed 3D acoustic simulations, and conducted electromagnetic field measurements using advanced technology. Yet this very uncertainty transforms Petra into a truly unique natural laboratory where archaeology, physics, and mystery intertwine, continually drawing scientists to investigate and unravel phenomena that defy conventional understanding. The Petra electric resonance is not just a scientific enigma, it also reshapes our understanding of the Nabatean civilization. It hints at the possibility that ancient people observed nature keenly and harnessed subtle phenomena like acoustics and mineral properties to create experiences transcending ordinary perception. Today, stepping into Petra's carved rock chambers, where sound vibrates against immense red walls, many visitors describe feeling transported into another world, one that is both scientific and mystical. This interplay between nature and mystery elevates Petra beyond an archaeological relic into a living enigma where every echo and every faint electric pulse continues to challenge human curiosity and comprehension. Amid the Ethiopian highlands, once the heartland of ancient empires like Aksum, stands a bizarre structure that remains a complete enigma to archaeologists, a stone spiral staircase nearly 9 meters tall that leads absolutely nowhere. Locals have many names for it, but researchers have given it a simple and haunting title: the spiral staircase to nothing. What do you think this mysterious staircase was built for? Was it a forgotten ritual monument, an ancient observatory, or something entirely beyond our understanding? Share your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear your theories. Structurally, the staircase is remarkably well built, with finely carved stone steps precisely arranged in a spiral pattern, rising steadily into the air without any upper platform foundation or structure to connect to. What baffles experts most is not its strange form, but the fact that it bears no resemblance to any known architectural style, building technique, or cultural tradition from Ethiopian history or surrounding regions. The stone materials used are unlike those found in Aksumite ruins, famous for their massive monolithic blocks and signature carvings. The staircase's cutting techniques, tool marks, and spiral layout show no similarities to any known archaeological sites within hundreds of kilometers. Many archaeologists agree this staircase appears to belong to no known civilization in the Horn of Africa. This cultural mismatch has sparked numerous controversial theories. Could it be a remnant of a long-lost civilization never recorded in history? Or was it built for a completely different purpose, symbolic, ritualistic, or perhaps never intended for human use at all? Some researchers have even proposed it was an ancient astronomical structure, since the spiral axis aligns with the position of the star Sirius as it appeared some 3,000 years ago. To this day, the greatest mystery remains. It matches nothing else in the surrounding world. In a land rich with history and culture, why does a single, isolated structure like this stand silent, inexplicable, as if it came from another realm? It is a question that remains unanswered. Beneath the dense canopy of eastern Congo's tropical forests lie strange pathways the locals call roads of light. The crystal dust paths, trails covered in shimmering crystalline dust, leave a lasting impression on anyone who sees them. They stretch for hundreds of meters with smooth, non-sticky surfaces that glint like scattered glass glitter under sunlight. Most mysteriously, on humid, moonless nights, the path seems to emit a faint bluish glow, as if whispering an ancient secret. What do you think about this phenomenon? Could this be an ancient man-made structure, or just nature playing tricks? Share your thoughts in the comments below. When samples of the dust were collected and analyzed, the results were shocking. They didn't match any known minerals found in Congo. The molecular structure resembled synthetic crystals like industrial-grade silicates, yet they appeared to have formed under low-temperature conditions, which should be impossible in nature. Some samples reacted faintly with atmospheric moisture, emitting light, a phenomenon never recorded in regional mineralogy. What makes these paths most bizarre and hardest to explain is that there are absolutely no signs of construction. No stone tools, no foundations, no instruments, no machinery, no wheel tracks, no footprints, no signs of excavation. They simply appear perfect and seamless, as if laid down by an unseen hand long ago. Smooth trails that twist through the jungle, yet no one claims responsibility. As the locals say, they were here long before my ancestors were born. There are no references to these paths in colonial or indigenous historical records. The local people do not use them. They actively avoid them, especially at night. According to regional folklore, these are the roads of the ancient spirits, and those who walk them become disoriented and never return. This haunting avoidance only deepens the sense that something not of this modern world lies dormant beneath the crystal dust. While geological explanations have been proposed, all evidence points toward a human-made origin, but no one knows by whom. A lost, prehistoric civilization, a long-forgotten ritual site, or perhaps a fragment of ancient knowledge accidentally revealed by nature. Whatever the answer may be, the crystal dust paths of eastern Congo continue to challenge the boundaries of our understanding, forcing us to ask, do we truly know the world we live in? The Black Ash Circle of Tasmania is a rare phenomenon occurring deep within the remote forests of southern Australia. These dark black circles, ranging from 15 to 30 meters in diameter, appear suddenly and in complete isolation. What makes them striking is the soil inside ash gray to charcoal black, as if it had been scorched by extreme heat. What do you think could explain the Black Ash Circle of Tasmania? Is it an unknown natural process, or something far beyond current science? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear your theories. What makes this phenomenon even more puzzling is that there are absolutely no signs of spreading fire or any obvious source of heat. The surrounding vegetation remains intact. No broken branches, no charred bark, and no evidence of lightning strikes. All typical causes like wildfires, industrial accidents, or known natural forces are effectively ruled out. When scientists collected soil samples from the circle, they found a clear difference. The soil inside was completely dry, dehydrated, rich in oxidized compounds, and showed signs of high-temperature exposure. However, no electromagnetic sources, geothermal heat, or man-made devices were detected at the site. No shock waves, no radiation, no signs of any structure ever being there. All conventional theories were eliminated. The total lack of guiding data has left researchers baffled. Models from physics, geology, even biology have failed to explain how such a circle could have formed. Bolder hypotheses, such as directed energy discharge, anomalous magnetic field interaction, or sudden subsurface transformation, remain speculative with no supporting evidence. While mainstream science remains silent, communities interested in the unexplained have suggested that this could be a landing imprint of an unidentified flying object UFO, or the result of a previously unrecorded natural phenomenon. Yet perhaps the most unsettling thing is the enduring silence of the scientific community when all physical evidence is present, but no theory dares to explain what really happened. The airless cradle of the Western Andes is not only an extremely harsh region, but also one of the most mysterious and least understood places on Earth. Hidden deep within the arid highlands of the Western Andes, where suffocating altitude meets thin air and near-zero humidity, this place is known as the airless cradle because virtually no life can survive here. What do you think could explain these mysterious traces in such a lifeless place? Could it be a forgotten civilization, a natural phenomenon we don't yet understand, or something entirely different? Share your theory in the comments below. We'd love to hear your thoughts. The air is so dry that bacteria can barely survive. The day-night temperature swings are brutal, and the low atmospheric pressure makes it nearly impossible for ordinary humans to remain for long. Yet this very harshness turns the region into a natural freezer, where ancient Inca mummies have been preserved in astonishing detail for centuries, down to individual strands of hair and folds in their garments. However, what makes this place truly mysterious is not just its climate or altitude. Scientists have discovered bizarre markings on the dry stone surfaces, deep cuts, perfectly straight grooves, massive geometric patterns, and stacks of stones arranged in unnaturally precise formations. No modern population has ever settled here, and the environment is far too hostile to support any known form of agricultural or industrial civilization. Yet these scars on the land remain as if someone or something once operated here for reasons we still cannot understand. Some theories suggest these might be remnants of an unknown ancient civilization or prehistoric mining activity. Some researchers even propose that the long, straight cuts and grooves resemble runways or astronomical alignment systems similar to the famous Nazca lines not far away. But all of these remain speculations. No solid evidence has ever been found. In a place so remote that even modern humans struggle to reach it, the question of who or what left these structures still hangs in the air unanswered. Did something happen here long ago, now buried beneath the silence of time? In the arid lands of Mali, along the banks of the Niger River, the ancient city of Djenné once stood as a vibrant center of a flourishing African civilization, home to some of history's most enigmatic artistic creations, the clay birds of Djenné. These strange terracotta birds have been discovered scattered across burial grounds and ancient settlements tied to the Djenné culture. What do you think these clay birds were meant to represent? Were they guardians of the dead symbols of a forgotten myth, or something else entirely? Share your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear your interpretation. At first glance, these tiny sculptures may seem simple, but the closer one looks, the more puzzling they become, because they resemble no known bird on Earth. They often feature oversized beaks, elongated necks, twisted bodies, sometimes spiral tails, or oddly disproportionate legs. Many appear to be born of pure imagination, half bird, half reptile, or mythical creatures with no known names. Some seem to be screaming, others stretch their heads upward, while a few twist into nearly impossible poses. It's unclear what these ancient artisans saw or what they were trying to express, but it's evident they were not simply imitating nature. Instead, they appeared to be creating a world of beings beyond the boundary of the real, evoking a sense of the sacred, the symbolic, perhaps a form of communication with another realm, or their way of depicting divinity. Archaeologists still cannot determine the exact purpose of these clay birds. They come with no texts, no clear symbols. Some are found in ancient graves, while others are buried alone in places with no signs of habitation, leading to theories that they may have served as ritual objects, protective charms, or embodiments of a forgotten spiritual belief. Though made of simple fired clay, each curve and shape displays a high level of aesthetic and technical skill. Today, the clay birds of Djenné remain a symbol of the unresolved, a mirror reflecting the imagination and spirituality of ancient humanity. Were they birds sacred beings, or something else entirely? One thing is certain, they are unlike any bird the modern world has ever known. Hidden deep within the eastern Himalayas, The Dagger Ridge of Bhutan is a place few have seen and even fewer have dared to explore. Rising like blades from the earth, the jagged stone formations resemble colossal daggers, stabbing skyward thin sharp and unnaturally precise. Locals whisper of ancient spirits guarding the cliffs, and even seasoned mountaineers speak with unease when describing the place. What do you think about a place like this? If there were a strange mountain ridge sharp as daggers rising as if forged by a hand, not of this world, would you dare to explore it? Or do you believe that some places are meant to remain untouched forever? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Do you believe in lands that are hidden from mankind? Or is it all just natural phenomena magnified by human imagination? What makes this ridge truly haunting, however, is not just its impossible geometry or the unnerving silence that cloaks it, but the symbols carved into its stones. Scattered along several of the most isolated rock faces, explorers have documented strange markings etched into the surface with remarkable precision. These are not ordinary erosion patterns, nor the scratches of weather or wildlife. They are deliberate, geometric, repeating swirls within triangles, interlocking spirals, an open eye shape surrounded by radiating lines. No known culture in Bhutan's history has used these motifs, and yet they bear a striking resemblance to prehistoric petroglyphs found across distant parts of the world, from the Nazca Plains of Peru to the Neolithic carvings in Göbekli Tepe. But here, in this remote corner of the Himalayas, they appear out of place, out of time. Who carved them when and how on rock surfaces so steep and high that even modern climbers struggle to reach them? Adding to the mystery, compasses often spin uselessly in the area, and digital equipment frequently malfunctions, prompting speculation about magnetic anomalies or the presence of unknown minerals beneath the ridge. But to the elders of nearby villages, the answer is simpler. This place was never meant to be found. They speak of the sleeping stone guardians and messages left before the first sun. Whether metaphor or memory, the warnings are clear. This is a place outside of human understanding. The Dagger Ridge remains officially unmapped, absent from most government documents. Bhutanese guides will lead you close, but never all the way. And those who return often do so quietly, carrying photographs of symbols they cannot explain, etched into stone older than history. Perhaps it is not the carvings themselves that are frightening, but what they suggest that someone or something once stood here long before us and left behind a message we still don't understand. Amid the barren lands of West Africa, researchers have documented a peculiar phenomenon. A dark metallic-tinged band of sand that runs in a straight line through the desolate desert. Local inhabitants call it the Path of the Gods, but scientists have given it a more evocative name, the Iron Sand Vein of West Africa. What do you think about this iron sand vein? Could it be an ancient trace of a lost technology, or just a rare natural phenomenon we haven't explored deeply enough? Share your thoughts in the comments below. What makes this sand vein so remarkable is its composition. The sand here is heavier than normal exhibits, weak magnetic properties, and tests reveal a high concentration of iron, specifically magnetite. Strangely, there is no known ore deposit or natural iron vein anywhere near this area. The surrounding soil and rock are poor in metal content, with no signs of past mineralization or evidence that the iron-rich sand was transported from elsewhere. This has deeply puzzled geologists. According to natural logic, iron should originate from a specific source, perhaps a weathered mineral vein, an ancient volcanic event, or sedimentary deposits from prehistoric rivers. But this iron vein seems to have appeared in the desert without any geological support, as if it were intentionally placed there. Many theories have been proposed. Was it the remnant of a shattered meteorite, a forgotten trace of ancient metallurgy, or the product of a rare natural process yet to be identified. So far, none have convinced the broader scientific community. Every geological model tested has failed to explain the formation of an iron-rich sand vein, with no source, no transport marks, and no associated geological structure. From a cultural standpoint, locals regard the area as sacred and avoid direct contact with the vein. Folklore says it is the path of a god who carried a weapon of iron, leaving his trail before the world had fully formed. Whether fact or myth, the truth remains elusive. But the existence of this mysterious iron sand vein continues to challenge all established geological theories. Hidden deep within the rugged limestone mountains of Corsica, the Cave of Shifting Paintings stands as one of Europe's most baffling archaeological enigmas. Discovered by chance in the 1970s by a group of local climbers, this cave has puzzled scientists not only because of the strange images on its walls, but also due to one major unanswered question: what era do these paintings actually belong to? If you stepped into this cave and saw an image slowly changing before your very eyes, would you believe it was ancient technology, a natural phenomenon, or something supernatural? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Normally, cave art can be dated through analysis of organic pigments or charcoal remnants in the paint mixture. But here, all efforts to determine the age using radiocarbon dating have failed. Some images appear faded with time, giving the impression of being thousands of years old, yet they lie atop rock surfaces that show signs of recent erosion. Meanwhile, other paintings look strangely vivid and fresh, yet are embedded deep within rugged rock formations, places almost impossible for modern humans to reach and paint. This contradiction has led many experts to theorize that the paintings may not come from a single time period, but could be an accumulation from various eras, perhaps even by cultures we have yet to identify. Some more radical archaeologists have proposed that the cave might represent a form of living art, where pigment layers react to humidity, light, and time, making the images appear to regenerate in a mysterious, almost intentional way. Another strange detail is that there are no traces of tools, charcoal, or any signs of human activity near the painted areas, something nearly unheard of in prehistoric cave art sites. And this absence only strengthens theories suggesting an ancient technique far beyond our current understanding. Who painted them, when, and why leave no evidence at all. Could this be the legacy of a long-lost civilization? Or is it a doorway into a completely new way of understanding time, consciousness, and primal expression? The Cave of Shifting Paintings doesn't just challenge traditional definitions of archaeology, it presents a bold question. Do we truly understand the past at all? Amid the rugged cliffs of western Iran lies a strange formation that locals chillingly call the Moaning Window. This place is neither an ancient structure nor mentioned in any known archaeological records, yet it has baffled researchers for years. The intrigue comes not only from its unusual shape, but from the eerie moaning sounds that echo from within the lifeless stone frame, haunting mournful tones that seem to rise from the earth itself, sending chills down the spine of anyone who approaches. What do you think could be causing the eerie moans of the Moaning Window? Is it just wind and rock, or something deeper, something forgotten? Share your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear your theory. The most striking and controversial feature is the window's nearly perfect shape, a rectangular cavity in the rock with edges so straight and precise that it looks unmistakably like a man-made window once carved into stone. From a distance, it resembles a weathered architectural relic, as if someone once stood inside it to gaze out over the ancient stony landscape beyond. And yet thorough geological surveys and structural analyses have uncovered no signs of human interference. There are no tool marks, no engravings, no construction materials, and crucially, no debris to suggest any form of excavation. All evidence points to a completely natural formation. And that's what makes it even more unsettling, a structure that looks like a window, but with no trace of anyone ever building it. This almost man-made but entirely natural paradox is what makes the moaning window so uniquely mysterious. It evokes the feeling that someone or something crafted it millennia ago and then abandoned it in the wilderness. Wild theories abound, from a gateway to another world to a monument erased from history, but science has yet to provide a satisfying explanation. The mystery only deepens due to the moaning window's location. Perched high on a sheer cliff, it is accessible only to experienced climbers. As a result, most knowledge about it comes from hearsay or scattered incomplete footage. But whether rooted in legend or reality, the moaning window remains one of the most perplexing and haunting geological enigmas of the Middle East, a stone doorway that no one opens, no one built, and yet still moans softly across the mountains, century after century. Across the desolate steppes of the Caucasus, where the wind sweeps through tall grasses and history lies buried in silence, stand a series of bizarre stone statues that baffle both archaeologists and mystery enthusiasts alike. The lopsided statues of the Caucasus steppe, tilted deliberately as if by design and seemingly belonging to no known civilization. What do you think these statues were trying to communicate? Could the deep carvings be a forgotten form of language or something else entirely? Share your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear your theory. A striking feature is that all the statues lean in the same direction at nearly identical angles. Geological surveys have found no signs of landslides or ground deformation, ruling out natural causes. This makes the theory of intentional tilting more convincing, possibly influenced by ancient rituals, astronomical alignments, or lost symbolic traditions. The statues are carved from a dark grey volcanic stone, a type of rock not found anywhere in the surrounding area. No quarries or extraction marks have been identified nearby. Transporting such massive stones across dozens of kilometers without wheels or roads appears to be beyond the known capabilities of prehistoric technology. What puzzles scholars the most are the deliberate deep incisions etched into many of the statues. These are not writings nor typical decorative patterns. Instead, they take the form of spirals, waves, and crisscrossing lines repeated systematically. The carvings are usually located on the forehead, chest, or palms of the statues. No known writing system matches these symbols, yet the consistent repetition suggests they are not random marks. Some archaeologists believe these may represent a form of proto-geometric language, possibly encoded with cosmic or astronomical meaning. These cuts may be the silent script of a lost culture, a system of primitive signs still waiting to be deciphered. Although humanoid in shape, there are no tombs, temples, or ceremonial remains around the statues. They stand alone amid the grasslands, unattached to any clear ritual context. This makes them even more enigmatic, as if they were placed simply to stand eternally, without worshippers, without an audience. Altogether, these mysterious leaning statues resemble petrified guardians of a vanished civilization. Perhaps they are a geometric library of an unwritten language, or a message across time that we still lack the means to comprehend. Whatever the answer may be, they continue to challenge the limits of human understanding, like a mirror reflecting the forgotten voids of history. The whispering dust of Inner Mongolia is one of the strangest and most enigmatic phenomena in the world, appearing in a remote desert region of Inner Mongolia, northern China. The area is renowned because every night, as gentle winds pass over the sand dunes, peculiar soft sounds resembling mysterious whispers can be heard, creating an impression that the desert itself is quietly conversing with visitors. Remarkably, these sounds only become clear and vivid at night, when external noises have completely ceased, creating a mystical atmosphere that piques the curiosity of anyone who visits. What do you think could be the true origin of these mysterious whispering sounds? Share your theories and thoughts in the comments below. I'm excited to read your ideas. However, what makes the whispering dust of Inner Mongolia particularly intriguing and fascinating to scientists is the unique structure of the dust and sand particles found here. Unlike the asymmetrical and chaotic structure commonly seen in sand and dust from other deserts, the particles here possess an exceptionally uniform and symmetrical composition. Under microscopic examination, researchers discovered that these dust particles are not only extremely fine, but also astonishingly uniform in shape. Thanks to this extraordinary consistency, when carried by the wind, the particles resonate collectively, vibrating at a specific frequency, thus producing the distinctive, mysterious whisper-like sounds found exclusively at this location. While the phenomenon of singing sands is not uncommon worldwide, the whispering sounds emitted by the dust of Inner Mongolia remain unique and unprecedented, never successfully replicated elsewhere, even under advanced laboratory conditions. Consequently, scientists hypothesize that in addition to the particular shape and size of the dust particles, environmental factors like humidity, temperature, and wind angles play a crucial role in generating this magical auditory experience. Nonetheless, no research to date has fully explained the precise physical mechanisms underlying this phenomenon. Beyond scientific curiosity, the whispering dust holds profound cultural and spiritual significance for local residents. They believe that the mysterious sounds represent ancestral spirits attempting to communicate important messages to future generations, transforming the area into a place rich with mysticism and spiritual reverence. Thus, the whispering dust of Inner Mongolia transcends being merely an unusual natural occurrence. It symbolizes a special connection between nature and humanity, deeply embedded in local culture and spirituality, making every tiny grain of dust seem to carry its own softly whispering soul. Amidst the frigid mountains of Altai, where sunlight rarely pierces through the thick cloud cover, lies a mysterious stone structure known locally as the Cold Sun Dial. Its name comes from its resemblance to an ancient sundial with large stones arranged in a circular pattern and grooves aligned with key celestial points. Yet paradoxically, this is one of the least ideal places to use sunlight for timekeeping. Harsh weather, dim skies, and long winters make it nearly impossible to cast distinct shadows. What do you think this structure was really used for? Could it have been a sundial, despite the lack of sunlight? Or was it something far more symbolic or mystical? Share your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear your theory. Despite the lack of sunlight, many of the grooves unexpectedly align with the sunrise and sunset on the winter solstice, a sacred moment in many ancient cultures. This uncanny alignment raises a profound question. Was this truly an astronomical timekeeping tool? Or did it hold deeper symbolic or ritual significance? Adding to its mystery, the stones used in this structure possess unusual properties even under sunlight. Their surfaces remain ice-cold, so much so that locals refer to them as heatless stones. This gives the entire site a sacred otherworldly aura, as if it were designed not just for observation, but to create a physical space detached from normal earthly conditions. There are no visible traces of cutting or shaping with metal tools. Every groove and surface appears either naturally weathered or shaped through unknown methods. This has led researchers to lean toward the theory that this structure is the legacy of a long-lost ancient civilization. But what puzzles researchers the most are the sunken symbols scattered across some of the stone slabs. These markings do not belong to any known writing system or religious iconography ever recorded in Altai or across Central Asia. Some resemble star maps, others form spirals, eye-shapes, or concentric circles, but all are extremely faint, as if they were made not to be read by the eye, but to be sensed by an ancient kind of intuition. There are no deep carvings, no evidence of chisel marks. These impressions seem embedded into the rock over time or by some unknown technique. One theory proposes that these symbols represent a form of cold light, a mystical concept in Altai folklore tied to ancient spirits who navigated the world not with vision, but through sensation. These enigmatic symbols elevate the cold sun dial beyond a mere stone structure. They turn it into a gateway to the blurred space between science, spirituality, and the forgotten memory of humankind. This site doesn't just challenge our ideas of purpose, it shakes the very foundations of what we think we know about the origins of ancient knowledge. The folded walls of southern Kazakhstan is one of the strangest and most puzzling phenomena in Central Asia, where nature and history intersect in a structure that continues to baffle both archaeologists and geologists. These massive stone walls don't just appear ancient, they also possess a shocking feature. They are folded and bent as if some invisible force had curved the Earth's crust itself. What do you think could have caused such a strange phenomenon? Was it a powerful natural force we don't fully understand? Or could it be the work of something lost to time? Share your thoughts in the comments below. In many places, the thick stone layers, several meters wide, are bent into wave-like shapes, Z patterns, or nearly 90-degree angles. This seems impossible for such hard rock, unless an immense energy was involved. Strikingly, the rock isn't shattered or cracked, like one would expect from typical geological faulting. Instead, it appears as if the stone was temporarily softened, then re-hardened mid-motion, like time itself froze during an unknown event. There are no tool marks, no mortar, no foundations. These folded walls don't match any known ancient architectural style, leaving many researchers hesitant to label them as man-made or natural. Scientific theories such as tectonic activity, seismic compression, or geological anomalies have all been proposed, yet none can fully explain the regular, intentional-looking folds of the stone layers. Adding to the mystery, the site lies near regions once inhabited by ancient cultures like the Scythians, yet there are no direct cultural artifacts around the folded walls. This raises further questions. Could this be a remnant of a long-lost ritual structure, a forgotten religious site, or even a technological artifact from a prehistoric civilization that vanished without a trace? To this day, the folded walls of southern Kazakhstan stands as a symbol of scientific uncertainty, a place where modern understanding must humbly admit some aspects of nature or history are not yet ready to reveal their secrets. The tilted tombs of Latvia are among the strangest archaeological mysteries in Europe. Located deep in the forests of eastern Latvia, this burial site is unlike any ancient cemetery ever discovered. The first unusual feature is their orientation. Instead of lying flat or standing upright as expected, the large stone slabs marking the tombs are all tilted at an angle of about 20 to 30 degrees. Even more bizarre, every single one of them tilts in the same direction, ruling out landslides or environmental erosion as a cause. What do you think about this phenomenon? Is it a ceremonial cemetery, an ancient astronomical structure, or a trace of a forgotten civilization? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Geologists have confirmed that the ground beneath the stones has remained stable for centuries, with no signs of slippage or natural movement. There are no concentrated erosion patterns or tilted soil layers. This has led to a bold hypothesis that these tombs were intentionally built at an angle from the start, perhaps for ceremonial or symbolic reasons that we have yet to understand. Upon excavation, archaeologists discovered something even more surprising. Many of the tombs contain no human remains or grave goods. Some only held layers of clay or strange black sand, completely different from the surrounding soil. This raises the possibility that these aren't actual burial tombs, but symbolic or ritual structures from an ancient belief system. The arrangement of the stone slabs is not random either. They are laid out in lines that are precisely aligned with the sunrise on the winter solstice, a feature rarely found in ancient cemeteries. This alignment strongly suggests the presence of an astronomical calendar system or structures related to seasonal tracking and agricultural cycles. But the greatest mystery lies in the tiny carvings found on some of the stones. When viewed under angled light or laser scanning, a series of intricate and enigmatic symbols appear: spirals, interlocking triangles, and net-like grids. Strangely, these markings do not match any known writing or symbolic systems recorded in Baltic history. They are unrelated to Viking scripts, show no signs of Old Slavic motifs, and don't resemble any known Livonian or local indigenous culture. This leads to a compelling question: who carved these symbols, and why some scholars believe they may be remnants of an entirely lost civilization or a prehistoric group never recorded in written history. Others suggest the carvings represent a visual ritual language used in sacred ceremonies and never meant to be decoded by outsiders. To this day, the tilted tombs of Latvia remain a mystery, without an answer, a meeting point of strange architecture, archaic astronomy, and an undeciphered system of signs. The unidentified cultural origin and the unusual symbols continue to make this one of the most debated and captivating archaeological sites in Europe. In the freezing depths of Norway's winter, at the far edge of the Lofoten archipelago, there exists a phenomenon so rare it borders on the surreal, the singing ice of Lofoten. This is not merely a natural occurrence, it is a sonic experience that touches the deepest layers of human emotion. What do you think is truly happening beneath the singing ice of Lofoten? Is it just a rare combination of physics and temperature, or could there be something more, something ancient, spiritual, or even otherworldly? Share your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear your theories. When the cold clamps down suddenly over frozen lakes, tiny cracks don't just produce the usual snapping sounds. Instead, they resonate long, echoing tones that rise like singing voices, haunting, prolonged, unlike anything you've ever heard. The sound defies description. It blends subsonic frequencies that you feel through your body with piercing high tones that seem like whispers from an ancient spirit. Some describe it as the lost songs of forgotten Norse goddesses, while others call it a spiritual experience to stand within that resonating ice-covered bay. Though recordings exist, they cannot replicate the full intensity, the depth of resonance, or most of all the sensation of the sound vibrating up through the ground into your legs, as if nature is whispering directly to your spine. Many researchers have attempted to recreate the singing ice using physics models, but nothing has successfully replicated it. Only the unique ice composition, the narrow, deep fjords and the precise balance of pressure and temperature found in Lofoten combine to create this living symphony, something no lab can reproduce. Old Norse legends tell of the sea goddess Ran singing on winter nights to guide lost souls back to the ocean. Whether myth or metaphor, when you stand alone on the frozen bay in Lofoten, surrounded by silence and the sound of the earth singing beneath your feet, you may find yourself asking, is this just a natural phenomenon, or something far beyond what we understand? Amid the arid lands and sandy winds of eastern Jordan, a small flame has been quietly burning for many years. No one knows when it started, and no one has been able to explain why it keeps burning. Strangely, the area contains no oil, no natural gas, no coal, or any known fossil fuel sources. The flame has no visible fuel source, no underground pipeline, and stands alone in a barren desert of stone and dust. Locals have named it the oil-free flame, a mystery with no clear answer. What do you think could be fueling this mysterious desert flame? Could it be a natural phenomenon we simply don't understand yet, or something far stranger? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Many international research teams have visited the site to investigate this strange phenomenon. Among all their efforts, gas analysis has proven to be the most baffling aspect. Samples collected directly from the flame yielded extremely unusual results. There was no methane, ethane, or propane, the common hydrocarbons responsible for natural fires. Even more puzzling, the chemical composition included traces of unidentified substances, and scientists were unable to reproduce any sustained combustion under laboratory conditions. Some researchers began to speculate, could this be a previously unknown type of combustion reaction, or even a process entirely outside our current understanding of chemistry? The strangeness doesn't stop there. Geological observations show that rocks surrounding the flame appear visibly deformed, as if they had been exposed to intense heat, cracked, warped, and discolored. This sharply contrasts with the gentle appearance of the flame itself, which looks no larger than a campfire. Such signs raise suspicions that a hidden energy source may exist beneath the surface, one that evades standard detection methods. Despite sitting in a desert known for strong winds, the flame remains undisturbed and never goes out, as if surrounded by a stable pocket of air. Instruments measuring air pressure around the flame have detected slight anomalies, suggesting the presence of a mysterious microenvironment that sustains the flame's stability, contradicting all known models of aerodynamics. Even more intriguing, the flame's location aligns perfectly with an ancient geological fault line, which some archaeologists believe may have been used as an energy axis in prehistoric rituals. If this theory holds true, then the oil-free flame might be a remnant of an ancient ceremony where early humans harnessed natural forces in ways that remain unknown to us today. The triple-eyed mask of the Taklamakan Edge is not just an intriguing artifact, it's a symbol that directly challenges our current understanding of archaeology. Discovered near the southeastern rim of the harsh Taklamakan Desert, once a cultural crossroads along the Silk Road, the mask baffled researchers at first glance. Its bizarre design, featuring 3 eyes with one set in the center of the forehead, inlaid with a mysterious purplish gemstone, made it all the more unusual. What do you think this triple-eyed mask really was? Was it a sacred object from a lost civilization, or something entirely beyond our current understanding? Share your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear your theories. What truly stunned archaeologists was the fact that the mask's style matches no known culture in the region. It bears no resemblance to ancient Chinese art nor to the carving traditions of the Scythians or Central Asian nomads. The decorative patterns around the eyes, the facial proportions, the way the metal was shaped, none of it aligns with the aesthetic systems of civilizations in the Tarim Basin. It also shows no clear influence from Buddhism, Zoroastrianism, or local burial practices. The mask's lack of identifiable cultural origin has left scholars in a difficult position. Some have proposed bold theories, suggesting it may be a relic from a vanished civilization or the product of a nomadic group never documented in history. Others believe it could be evidence of a previously unknown cultural convergence, perhaps involving ancient Indo-European peoples like the Tocharians and some lost spiritual traditions. Beyond its appearance, the mask also displays other unusual features. The third eye has a weak magnetic field, a rare trait in ancient artifacts, leading some to speculate it may have been used in spiritual rituals. More curiously, the mask has no holes, straps, or fittings, raising the question, was it never meant to be worn, but rather a symbolic object for ceremonial purposes? With its bizarre design, undefined symbolism, mysterious materials, and lack of cultural alignment, the triple-eyed mask stands as one of the most confounding archaeological mysteries of the Taklamakan region. To this day, it remains beyond the bounds of any known cultural framework, like a signal from a chapter of history long buried in the sand. In the remote landscapes of Uganda, deep within a region untouched by modern infrastructure, lies one of the most inexplicable geological mysteries ever discovered, the heat-bent obsidian slabs of Uganda. What do you think caused these obsidian slabs to bend in such a strange way? Could this be an extremely rare natural phenomenon or a remnant of some forgotten ancient technology? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Unlike any other known natural formation, these slabs of obsidian, a naturally occurring volcanic glass, appear to have been subjected to intense heat and then bent into graceful curves that defy our understanding of stone behavior. Obsidian is known for being brittle and sharp. It fractures easily and has no tolerance for stress. Yet in this unique Ugandan site, massive sheets of obsidian have curved, rippled, and twisted as if molded while still warm, like wax or soft plastic. What makes the phenomenon even more perplexing is the complete absence of any nearby volcanic activity, hot springs, or geothermal anomalies. There's no known natural source of heat powerful enough to have softened obsidian to such a degree, and certainly not across such a wide area. But the most extraordinary detail isn't just the bending, it's how the slabs are arranged. Dozens of these curved obsidian sheets are stacked and layered in patterns that resemble deliberate architectural alignment. They run in near parallel lines, with evenly spaced gaps, consistent curvature, and astonishing geometric precision, forming arcs, waves, and sometimes even spiral shapes. Geologists have noted that the arrangement seems too orderly to be random, yet there's no evidence of tools, no carvings, no signs of human settlement in the immediate vicinity. Some researchers have suggested that this could be the result of a rare but natural tectonic phenomenon. Others speculate that the patterns were once part of a forgotten cultural or ceremonial practice involving techniques for heating and reshaping stone that modern science has yet to replicate. Attempts to recreate the effect in laboratories have failed. Even when obsidian is heated to its softening point, it tends to crack and shatter instead of bending cleanly. The smooth curves and glossy flow patterns on the slabs in Uganda remain unique, a kind of natural art installation shaped by forces we do not yet understand. As sunlight glances off the curved surfaces, reflections scatter like waves across the stone, adding an almost surreal dimension to the site. Some local legends refer to it as the sun's mirror, a place where fire once danced across the earth and reshaped time itself. To this day, the heat-bent obsidian slabs stand not just as a geological mystery, but as a silent riddle one that challenges both our scientific assumptions and our imagination. Beneath the tranquil skies of western Laos lies a bizarre geological phenomenon that few have ever heard of: a landscape of hills arranged in an exact grid-like pattern, so precise it seems to have been constructed by a giant calculating hand. This place is known as the Grid Hills of Western Laos, and their very presence is challenging long-held assumptions about how Earth's landforms are shaped. What do you think? Is this an extremely rare geological phenomenon or the trace of a long-lost ancient civilization? Share your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear your theories. From the ground, the hills appear unremarkable, just dozens of mounds scattered across the plains. But from above, a radically different scene emerges: hundreds of small earthen hills arranged in near-perfect squares or rectangles, lined up as if on a military map or an ancient circuit board. There's no randomness in their layout. Each gap, each boundary between the hills suggests intentional design. What troubles scientists the most is this: no known geological erosion or tectonic process can account for such precise grid-like formations. They're not the result of flowing water, nor the outcome of plate movements. Some researchers have suggested ancient fault lines might be involved, but even natural cracks in bedrock don't form clean grids. They're usually chaotic and curved, following the stress patterns of stone. The deeper experts investigate, the more paradoxical it becomes. If the formations are natural, why are they so perfectly arranged? But if they're artificial, then who and why would have built such an enormous complex structure only to leave no trace in history? There are no ancient texts, no local legends, and no nearby archaeological evidence. All that remains is this grid of silent hills, quietly defying everything we thought we knew about Earth's surface. Could this be a missing link in the planet's geological evolution, or the forgotten footprint of a lost civilization that left no name behind? Amid the barren lands of West Africa, researchers have documented a peculiar phenomenon: a dark, metallic-tinged band of sand that runs in a straight line through the desolate desert. Local inhabitants call it the Path of the Gods, but scientists have given it a more evocative name: the Iron Sand Vein of West Africa. What do you think about this Iron Sand Vein? Could it be an ancient trace of a lost technology, or just a rare natural phenomenon we haven't explored deeply enough? Share your thoughts in the comments below. What makes this sand vein so remarkable is its composition. The sand here is heavier than normal exhibits, weak magnetic properties, and tests reveal a high concentration of iron, specifically magnetite. Strangely, there is no known ore deposit or natural iron vein anywhere near this area. The surrounding soil and rock are poor in metal content, with no signs of past mineralization or evidence that the iron-rich sand was transported from elsewhere. This has deeply puzzled geologists. According to natural logic, iron should originate from a specific source, perhaps a weathered mineral vein, an ancient volcanic event, or sedimentary deposits from prehistoric rivers. But this iron vein seems to have appeared in the desert without any geological support, as if it were intentionally placed there. Many theories have been proposed. Was it the remnant of a shattered meteorite, a forgotten trace of ancient metallurgy, or the product of a rare natural process yet to be identified? So far, none have convinced the broader scientific community. Every geological model tested has failed to explain the formation of an iron-rich sand vein, with no source no transport marks, and no associated geological structure. From a cultural standpoint, locals regard the area as sacred and avoid direct contact with the vein. Folklore says it is the path of a god who carried a weapon of iron, leaving his trail before the world had fully formed. Whether fact or myth, the truth remains elusive. But the existence of this mysterious iron sand vein continues to challenge all established geological theories. Beneath the remote mountains of Patagonia in southern Chile, archaeologists uncovered one of the most puzzling phenomena to date, what they've termed the unmelted metal of Chilean tunnels. These are mysterious metallic blocks found deep within ancient tunnel systems, possibly thousands of years old. What do you think these unmeltable metal blocks really are? Could they be remnants of a lost civilization, or something not of this earth? Share your theory in the comments below. We'd love to hear what you think. These metallic objects have smooth surfaces, appearing silver or dark gray. Some are nearly perfectly shaped, either as cubes or thin plates, yet they show no signs of human tooling, no cuts, no chisel marks, no abrasions. This raises an important question among researchers. How were they formed during a time without advanced metallurgy? The most extraordinary and frustrating feature is the bizarre chemical composition of the material. Mass spectrometry and X-ray fluorescence analysis revealed a high concentration of rare elements such as hafnium, tantalum, and iridium, but no match with any known industrial alloy on global technical databases. No known industry, not aerospace defense or space tech, uses alloys with such unusual ratios. This leads to one unsettling conclusion. These metals do not belong to any technological framework currently known to humanity. Experiments showed that when exposed to temperatures above 3,000 degrees Celsius, the metal samples did not melt, did not deform, and barely changed color. This far surpasses the heat tolerance of any naturally occurring or human-made material, even advanced aerospace-grade alloys. There are no historical records from the Mapuche or any other indigenous cultures in the region that reference such unusual material. This silence has fueled wild speculation, from lost technologies of a forgotten civilization to the bold theory that this might be an object of extraterrestrial origin. Could this be a sign that we have not yet fully understood the material and technological history of our planet? Or are there forgotten chapters where indestructible metals were crafted by a knowledge system completely unlike our own? Hidden deep within the windswept and desolate fields of southern Patagonia lies a phenomenon that has stunned the scientific world: the ember fields. These seemingly lifeless patches of earth emit steady low heat and sometimes faintly glow at night, like the dying embers of a forgotten fire. Yet the strangest part is there is no flame, no smoke, and no visible sign of combustion. What do you think could be causing these silent, flameless burns beneath the soil of Patagonia? Could it be a rare geological reaction, a forgotten technology, or something else entirely? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear your theory. For decades, explorers and scientists have recorded long, charred stretches of Earth, sometimes spanning hundreds of meters, that radiate heat day and night without any visible flame. Soil samples taken for analysis revealed no flammable materials, no methane, no coal seams, and no signs of organic decay that might explain spontaneous ignition. And yet the ground remains hot, as if an invisible fire is burning underneath a fire we cannot see or explain. What makes this phenomenon even more baffling is that the surrounding vegetation appears entirely unaffected. Just centimeters away from the scorched earth, grass remains, green bushes continue to grow, and nearby trees show no signs of scorching. It's as if the heat is completely isolated, defying the usual behavior of fire and thermal radiation. In some areas, the burned ground doesn't appear randomly scattered, but instead forms spiral circles or strange grid-like patterns, prompting speculation about underground energy sources, unusual geological structures, or possibly forces yet unidentified by modern science. Curiously, many ember fields are located near ancient archaeological sites, including prehistoric rock carvings, remnants of ritual grounds, or mysterious stone structures with unknown functions. This raises the possibility that ancient civilizations may have once encountered or even harnessed this phenomenon in ways we can no longer comprehend. To this day, all attempts to reproduce the ember fields in laboratory settings have failed. What exists out there in the wild, a smoldering zone without flames, smoke, or any identifiable energy source, remains an unsolved puzzle, a burn that science cannot extinguish nor fully understand.